to help with warehouse distribution. Go to cleaners.org and donate or get involved today.
Heat and cool places where ductwork won't fit using Mitsubishi electric ductless mini splits. You can even wrap them to match your decor.
Find out more at absolutecomfort.org.
From the DriveHubler.com studios, this is 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
WIBC HD2, HD3, Indianapolis. The Pacers host the Orlando Magic in a New Year's Eve matinee tomorrow at 2:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
And here we go.
You really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Hey, motherfucker, what you like to do? Oh, I don't know. Play chess. Screw. Well, let's play chess.
They give off to Jonathan Taylor. Jump cutting his way close to the goal line. He's in there. Touchdown! I-N-D-Y. Jonathan Taylor. Wheeler finds Quan from the logo.
Here's Halliburton into the front court. Mishandled it, but gets a shot. Hits it! Hits it!
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Let's get into it on a Tuesday. Thank you all for joining us. You may have to come in here because I can't get this damn thing to share anything right now. So, yeah, you may have to come in and look. Thank you. Oh, you look. There it is. I'm sorry. Hey, by the way, we're figuring out stuff right now because James is going to hook up with Chris Hagan of Fox 59, who is staked out in Southern California as the Hoosiers did arrive last night. There you go, James. And get set for the New Year's Day Rose Bowl. Epic in Pasadena, California. Hagan's going to join us with all the latest storylines on that. Man, it is awesome because as disappointing, once again, as this Colts season has been, and you're mired in disappointment with that team, that organization, and it stinks. The newfound glory and the excitement that you get, I know not everybody out there is an IU fan, but damn, considering how they have crashed this college football traditionalist ball is pretty amazing. Is it not amazing? And we'd be saying the same thing if you were an IU fan of Purdue. They were doing that. You probably wouldn't like it, but you'd say the same thing. You said the same thing regarding, IU if you're a Purdue fan. I'm assuming right now too. It is just really cool the way this has worked out so far, and you're watching IU take advantage with their football program of, let's face it, things you never really thought they were going to be capable of taking advantage of. And I think that's pretty damn awesome. I really do. So Hagan is in L.A. Hagan's going to join us coming up in just a bit, and we shall go over all that and then some. Regarding that matchup coming up on Thursday, in fact, if things officially get underway tomorrow, we're going to go through a little bit of betting odds and lines with you on that coming up a little bit later on. Another bummer of an evening for the Pacers. They did try to hang. All right, they played it out, did try to hang. Alas, they lose again. Now 6-27 on the season. 126-119 is the final last night in Houston. They go back-to-back home dates. Wednesday, that's tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. 2:30 your coverage begins right here on The Fan. So Jake will take you up on Query and Company until 2:30. Now, he had mentioned I'm not going to be doing the show tomorrow. However, I will start season number 6 of the JMV Takeover, good Lord willing, coming up because I've had to learn a lot of new things. I have no idea what I'm doing. And that's not like it's very far off the normal course that I have, but the last time I think I have done this type of cramming job, it's been a while. to say the least. But it is going to be enjoyable. Season 6 of the JMV Takeover starts tomorrow night on B105.7. So hopefully, wherever you're going and whatever you're doing on New Year's Eve, A, you do it safely, and B, I love saying it this way too, do it with me. You guys want to do it with me tomorrow night? 6 o'clock, and normally we'll go right up until we go from 25 to 26. And I know Skids has put together a midnight and after as we celebrate many mix leading up to it. So it is going to be exceptional. Now, I can screw it up, and I probably will, but I think I know enough to at least keep us between the lines and have a party. So you make sure that whatever you're doing, wherever you're going, you take your mobile party with me with you coming up tomorrow night. I know some of you may have to work. Take me with you. Let's do it together, shall we? Tomorrow night, 6 until after midnight, certainly on B105.7 for that. So I mentioned the Pacers have that afternoon affair on New Year's Eve afternoon, 3 o'clock tip time versus the Orlando Magic. And then Victor Wembanyama and San Antonio coming up on Friday. That is at 7 o'clock. 6:30 coverage begins right here on the Fan. So that means we're going to be at the, hey, what's going on, guys? Good to see you. Ralston's Craft House with Bud Light on a Blue Friday coming up on Friday. So we will have to get into the Colts happy hour a little bit earlier than usual, but all should be good coming up on Friday. And some people had asked, am I out anywhere today? Unfortunately, we are not. I do like being in studio. However, we are out at Ralston's Draft House coming up on Friday. And we'll be drinking some ice-cold Bud Lights and having a hell of a time, giving stuff away. So hopefully you join us off of Mass Ave. That is coming up on Friday, too. I did want to give a shout-out for all the college basketball games going on last night. We'll get into Riley Leonard and the Colts and all that coming up in a minute because we'll spend a hell of a lot of time on it. But I did want to start here, and I wanted James a little bit later on to play Matt Painter and what he said about the landscape of college basketball at this moment. In particular, what Scott Drew and Baylor has done to secure on the fly a former NBA drafted player that, according to whatever rules and regulations there are now, which are very few, if any whatsoever, is within the guidelines to do so. But Matt has a really good point that he makes when asked after the game last night. By the way, Boilermakers, a 101-60 winner over Kent State. 5th-ranked Purdue 4 games consecutively, and that was the Jack Benter game. Shout out to Brownstown Central. Jack pours in 20 points. Perfect from the floor, perfect from distance. That's the type of stinking night I'm going to have later on tonight at CG. 7 for 7, 6 for 6, Jack Benter. So good for Jack. Fletcher Lawyer had 19. Trey Kaufman-Wren, 15 and 12. And the Boilermakers now 12 and 1. 101-60 again is the final over Kent State. But I also wanted to bring this up because our Sycamores got a great win last night, 81-80 over Belmont. That was a final in overtime at the Holman Center in Terre Haute. But you saw back on the sidelines again our good friend Matthew Graves. And his Sycamores responded. Belmont, going into that game, was a one-loss squad. Unbeaten in the Mo Valley, 1 loss on the season, and the Sycamores an 81-80 victory over Belmont in overtime. And full-time welcome back. We had him on a couple of weeks ago as he was just returning and kind of slowly, after that triple bypass, sliding back into things. But fully back as of last night. And solidly done he was. And shout out to our Sycamores for that win, and a much-needed win, in fact, for Indiana State, and our good friend Matthew Graves over in Terre Haute. Ball State a winner. IU Indy a loser on the road at Cleveland State last night as well. Valpo a loser, and Mo Valley play 58-48 to Northern Iowa. Milwaukee over Purdue, Fort Wayne, and Bradley over Evansville. Also in the Mo Valley in college basketball last night. The Monday Nighter was interesting. Is this going to voicemail? Let me tell him sorry about that. James just said it's just going to voicemail for Hagan. I wonder if Hagan has our number here. Surely he does, right? Hey, Hagan, call us now, is what I'm going to say, as Hagan is live out in Pasadena, California. I was talking about last night, the Monday night game. It's weird, right? Because the social media and things that are said, a lot of people have been down on Puka Nacua. The one thing you can't be down on is his skill set. We almost witnessed arguably the greatest catch, and I know David Tyree and the Super Bowl, that's one, and you go all the way back to I'll get to that in just a second, to the Beckham catch, but almost at the end of that game on that final drive for the Rams, that was like one-handed until he went to the ground. I'll get back to that Monday Nighter in a second. Colts conversation with Riley Leonard going to start in Houston, coming up in the regular season finale as well. Meantime, on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, there he is in Southern California, where, as the song goes, it never rains in Southern California. Unfortunately, the forecast says it's going to later on this week for the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day. Fox 59, Chris Hagan joins us now. Hello, Chris. How are you?
Seems it never rains in Southern California.
That's a great song.
It already is raining.
Oh, is it raining right now out there on you?
Yeah, Brett Bensley and I are headed to the practice facility where IU will hit the field in a couple hours, and it's already raining. It's supposed to be worse come Thursday. And it's, Brett, what was the stat? Brett had some kind of miraculous stat of how many Rose Bowls it's rained on, and it's minuscule, but less than a dozen in 136 years, and the first one since 2006. So it looks like we're headed toward one of those.
Yeah, that's something right there. It's been few and far between. I will say this. You got anything in mind of who, if it is raining, which evidently is going to be, if there is a favoring from a weather angle, either for Bama or IU, got anything in mind on that?
Well, that's what's funny is that in the media lounge, I've heard media from both covering both schools say it favors them.
Yeah.
I've heard Alabama people saying it favors them, and I've heard IU people. I think it favors the team that can take care of the football when you're in bad weather, and I think that's going to be key anyway. But it is one more thing on the rain thing. I remember when the Colts won Super Bowl 41, Peyton was quick to point out it was the first Super Bowl that ever got rained on. So for some reason in Indiana, if you're going to do something special or memorable, it's got to get rained on. But, yeah, I think this matchup is interesting. They had media day today where they had all the players and the coaches available to us, and you can tell they don't want to talk about. Signetti doesn't want to talk about the Bama mystique. He kind of chirped at me a little bit when I asked about it, and but the players know about it. They know what Alabama represents, and he's really getting fly out here to watch the game. You can tell he's squashed that about, hey, great, what we did means nothing. 13-0, who cares? It all starts on Thursday.
Yeah, and normally he doesn't want anything infiltrating his players' heads, or really he just doesn't want to hear it, because as we've talked about, it is right now a new era. I mean, you certainly have a blue blood that you're going to be playing against in the world of college football, maybe at the highest of levels. But let's just face it, because of the change in landscape with everything, that's changed. Legitimately, the on-the-field product. You look at Alabama, and, Alabama, historically speaking, Chris, you know this to be true. They're always being able to power run the football very productively, but that hasn't been their forte this season. So that's when you think about, maybe the rain falling. IU's got a couple of backs that always fall forward, maybe not flashy, maybe not marquee names, but get the job done. That's something I think to look at on the ground, because, again, this land of college football right now is just not what it used to be.
Yeah, you think about the bevy of tailbacks that Alabama has had over the years, Henry, Ingram, right down the line. That's not been the case, and they've had to really rely on the pass of Ty Simpson to move the ball and get things done. And so that could be an issue for them. But you do know this, too, is Alabama's lineup is littered with 5- and 4-star players. Where talking to some IU players last night, and he joked that, every time we play from here on out, there's going to be teams that didn't recruit IU players, the guys with a chip on their shoulder. So, yeah, you're lining up against a team that has tradition about winning, tradition about running the football, and all they need to worry about is the team they see on tape right now, and a team that has shown some weaknesses that Crimson Tide teams in the past hasn't.
Yeah. All right. So Omar Cooper Jr. cleared and good to go. That's good news. You know about Stephen Daly, and that's going to be a big deal defensively. But overall, health-wise, what do you think about the Hoosiers as they go into this Rose Bowl coming up on Thursday?
I saw Omar today, and we're going to hear from him. Here's a shameless plug at 5 o'clock on Fox 59 today. He says he's not quite 100%. He admitted that, and he hopes he's as good as he can be. But he is going to get to be a part of this. And let's face it, he's been a huge – one of the main reasons they're sitting here still undefeated is because of him and that catch. So, yeah, it'd be great to see him able to contribute, all hands on deck. And, but he's been busting his tail, rehabbing, and trying to get back. But he admits he's not quite there yet, but he's still got a couple of days.
So can you tell so far, I mean, mystique and such as the Heisman Trophy winner, is there a whirlwind of activity, a bevy of activity media-wise and interest around Fernando Mendoza, the IU quarterback?
Oh, yeah, his podium was packed today from start to finish, and he made a stop first at the Big Ten Network's little setup there. But I tell you what, and this is in no way a dig at the kid. I love him. But he is like a pre-programmed robot where it says, when you were a kid, you would ask a question to it and you'd push button 1 and it would say that he is so well-spoken as far as his answers. And it's you can ask him anything. I was asking him this and that and the other thing, and then the guy asked him his favorite Mexican dish and then his favorite Cuban dish. And it was like he had a script to all the questions that were going to be asked him beforehand because he is sharp and he is well-prepared. And that's just how he is in interviews, and talking to people. So on the football field, he always is as well. And you can tell he's enjoying the ride. He doesn't seem to have, he's not caught up in all the, hey, we're undefeated, number one, I'm the Heisman Trophy guy. He just seems kind of like the same aw shucks kid he was when the Hoosier fans first got introduced to him earlier in this season.
So, Chris Hagan of Fox 59, you can catch everything, especially with Omar Cooper Jr. of IU, with him coming up later on this afternoon and later on this evening, and then later on tonight as well on Fox 59 as he is in Pasadena, California on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So you're from the state of Alabama, so you've constantly been surrounded by rednecks. How do the rednecks down there feel about this particular Alabama product right now compared to past teams?
Well, let's first be let's full disclosure. I was born in Mississippi. I'm a Mississippi State
okay.
fan.
I'm sorry.
And but I did grow up around Alabama fan, and because I was back home for some family stuff a couple of weeks ago, I was actually in an Alabama bar when Alabama came back and beat Oklahoma, and it reminded me of why I hate Alabama fans so much. But there was a guy on the shuttle bus at the airport yesterday, and he had his Alabama zip up. And I was telling him, we're from Indiana, and he said, well, Indiana, I mean, they don't have any great players. And he was just typical Alabama speak. He was an Alabama grad. Yeah, the quarterback, I mean, he didn't really do anything. So I think Alabama fans will come in here with that same attitude of, we're Alabama, we're going to beat Indiana, and they might be in for a rude awakening. But the players I talked to today about, they watched that game as well, the Oklahoma-Alabama game, and felt like, wow, we're going to play Oklahoma. And then all of a sudden you see what Alabama can do at the drop of a hat. So they respect Alabama. They're aware of the tradition. I don't think they fear Alabama or any team. And that's why it was so big to win that, beat Ohio State back in Indy in the Big Ten championship game, to say, okay, this is a big bad wolf, a brand name, a national champion, a team we haven't beaten since the 80s. So to get that one off the list, I think now they can go into any matchup and not have any unreasonable fear just based on the name on the jersey.
So are we going to see tonight in the dialogue the question you asked Curt Cignetti? Did he get snippy with you at all?
I said to Cignetti something like, you more than anybody are aware of the Alabama mystique. How do you convey to the players that they're not playing the tradition, they're just playing against this particular team? and he said something like, "I think you know about their tradition. You know more about the mystique than these players do," and implying that. And then I talked to players, and every player knew about the mystique of Alabama. So you can tell that's the message. He is downplaying the, "Hey, this is Alabama" type thing, and which he should. But it was kind of funny he didn't. And then later, when I asked him another question about the Oklahoma-Alabama game, he did give a very glowing remark about how good Alabama is and how he respects the program. But he wanted no part of that at first when I brought it up.
It's just how he's built, and you get no argument from anybody considering the results up to this point. So you just continue to handle it how you handle it.
Yeah, he does win, and you can tell this is a well-oiled machine. Like all the players, you can tell they know the talking points and they've fallen in line. And while he did get snippy at me, John, at one point, he did also wink at me twice. So I think I got back in the good graces.
No, that's like the first time when he first got the gig and he came on with me. I mean, you could kind of tell. And from what I'm, with Don often, and he kind of explains to me personality-wise. I mean, he's a fun-loving guy, but that's just kind of how he responds to questions. I mean, it just reminds you like he is, like we are, just older dudes responding, to questions from mostly younger dudes, and you go, "Oh yeah, all right, whatever." So
yeah, he had a good turn at the podium. He was interesting as usual, said some good stuff, and I also saw Dowd Fisher. Dowd was here at the media day, taking it all in, and I asked Fish if he was going to go golfing, and you can tell that on some trips maybe he'll go looking to do that, but he's soaking it all in. He's loving the moment, and Fish is all business on this trip as well.
So you and Brett going to go to the bars later on tonight? What are you going to hit up out there in Southern California?
Luckily, they have a media lounge.
What?
In the hotel room. I went 0 for 2 against Brett in the ping pong tournament last night, but I did take 2 out of 3 on the pool table, including a rousing victory on the final round.
You're going to go to Southern California and hang out with a bunch of nerds. Are you kidding me? Go to a bar or something, Donnie. Find a bar. Go to somewhere trendy. You're a trendy guy.
If you would have walked the 1 block from our hotel to the IU hotel last night, I think you'd agreed to stay off the streets in L.A. After dark.
Walking in L.A. Who sings it?
Missing Persons.
Well done. Hey, is Whitaker out there too?
Yeah, I believe she was flying in today, and I'll see her a little bit later today.
Well done. All right. Well, keep us updated. Well, go ahead.
Last thing for you, John. What I am excited about is I make fun of Alabama fans, but I got a lot of friends, this is my worlds colliding. I'm guessing, I don't know how many people I'm going to see that I know from Indiana and from Alabama out here. So I love the idea that where I grew up and where I live are coming together. So it should be exciting times, and at least one group of fans I know are going to be pretty happy moving on.
I bet those in Southern California are probably going, "What the hell is going on around here right now?" So
a lot of crimson, the Crimson Tide and the cream and crimson, and it's going to be good stuff.
It's Chris Hagan of Fox 59's got Omar Cooper Jr. a little bit later on, and then obviously he and Brett, once they're done in Southern California, will catch the Riley Leonard start coming up in Houston and the Colts finale on Sunday, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, we kind of saw that coming. I think it's best for Phillip to go out a home game and pack it in. I'd hate to see him go down there and something happen, in a truly meaningless game down there in Houston. So yeah, give Riley a shot. Let him see what he's got, because I know a lot of Colts fans have been chirping about that. So get him out there and see what comes of that. It could be a meaningful game still for the Texans. So you'll get that full dose of the rush that they have, the defense that they have in full effect right now. So that'll be interesting.
They're my pick to come out of the AFC to the Super Bowl as of right now. Which that means they're screwed. Yeah.
Yeah. You gave them the kiss of death.
The kiss of death.
Well, we'll do it again this time tomorrow. We'll talk to you again, and we'll see if Brett and I survive the media part.
You got it, bro. Appreciate you. Thanks, Chris.
Right.
Chris Hagan of Fox 59, and again, Omar Cooper Jr., friend of this show, later on tonight with Chris on Fox 59. I'm assuming some of CBS 4 content as well if you're watching the CBS affiliate here in town. James is over there. I'm John. Thank you for joining us. AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live. I have my hands spread apart and out and welcoming all of you to this Tuesday show in studio. The stream, the app, it is HD Radio. Thank you so much for joining joining us. Covers.com content a little bit later on. Mike Chappell a little bit later on. Greg Rakestraw celebrating a birthday. He joins us coming up on the other side, which means don't go anywhere. We got you covered, including Colts conversation in the next 5 minutes. So don't go anywhere. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
Welcome to Wawa. We're open 24/7, so when the sun goes down but everyone's still up, Wawa has your late night fuel. Headed to a hangout? Stop in for snacks and sodas. Binge your favorite shows with burgers and hoagies. Gather around the table with garlic knots and a cheesy Wawa pizza. Or just chill on the couch with fries and whatever milkshake sounds good. Your night just got a whole lot tastier. Freshly made burgers, pizza, and so much more. When you got a late night craving, you got a Wawa. Price and participation may vary by store.
Hey, John here for Win Schulers. You guys get the spreadability yet? Did you get it for tomorrow night? Do not have a New Year's Eve party as a host without the spreadability of Win Schulers on that table. All right? Even if there's some double dipping going on, Costanza, it is okay because the spreadability of Win Schulers is worthy of that original. Sharp cheddar, bacon and cheddar, jalapeno pepper. It is great on crackers and chips. And if you got a double dip, it's not like putting your entire mouth into the bowl, into the Win Schulers. It is speaking to how great it is. Win Schulers spreadability for New Year's Eve. You can find it at Neiman's Harvest Market in Carmel, Gordon's Food Service, and any Meijer location throughout the state of Indiana. For New Year's Eve, it's Win Schulers.
Hi, I'm Dallas, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. You know she loves her Shane Company engagement ring, but you also want to surprise her for her birthday, anniversary, or just because she deserves it. Why not get her a bigger diamond with our easy trade-up program? We'll give you the full credit of your original natural diamond purchase toward a new one. Her new diamond only has to be $1 more. You only pay the difference. How's that for an easy trade-up? Visit us in-store or at shaneco.com. Because a friend wants you to win the gifting game. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
So you've told me this before. Hey, I looked in the mirror and all of a sudden, I'm losing my hair. The coverage is not what it once was. John, I want to do something about it. Who can help me? It's Darren Andrews at WeGrowHairIndy.com, 317-522-2995. Darren has been helping so many, just like me, for 9 years, in fact, but so many to get their hair back. And there is nothing tricky about this. This is your real growing hair. No Elmer's glue, no wallpaper paste, no Scotch tape. It is all your real growing hair. You want to find out more? Darren Andrews has the answer. 317-522-2995. For 2026, I think we need to make the resolution right here to get your hair back with WeGrowHairIndy.com.
Get ready to hoop. It's back. Time to try your skills around Indy locations with Michelob Ultra's Mini Hoops Challenge. Michelob Ultra Mini Hoops Challenge gives you a chance to win a Michelob Ultra basketball jersey and punch your ticket to the Mini Hoops Finals, where a trip to see Indiana versus Milwaukee in Milwaukee on February 6th is on the line, complete with a hotel gift card and $100 Visa gift card. Visit 1075thefan.com today to see all the locations and details.
It's JMV for BullseyeEventGroup.com, the Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. All you can eat, all you can drink. Before each Colts home game, make your game day experience the best it can be. Entertained inside the Bullseye Event Center and the great food from celebrity chef Kelsey Murphy. That and more, and combo up your passes with tickets to the game. That's the BullseyeEventGroup.com Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. Get your passes now. BullseyeEventGroup.com.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
rewards. With Wawa's rewards program, you can rack up points on the items you buy every day, even fuel. Boost your totals with a breakfast sizzly. Score points with your morning coffee. With Wawa rewards, points put the power in your hands. You can choose to redeem them for what you love most, like an iced latte for an extra pick-me-up or your lunchtime hoagie. Download the Wawa app today. When you gotta get rewarded, you gotta Wawa. Fuel rewards not available in New Jersey or were legally prohibited. See full details at wawarewards.com. Price and participation may vary by store.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
It was a doubleheader in August and really hot inside the concession stand. So instead of waiting for people to come to me, I figured I'd walk around yelling, "Hot dogs here!" And that's how I became the first hot dog vendor in sports.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Lose weight or stop smoking with hypnosis, guaranteed or your money back. Only $59.99. Destroy unwanted cravings, late night eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Also destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, or weight gain, or your money back. Hypnosis, January 29th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss at 5:30 p.m., stop smoking at 8. And January 31st at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss 11 a.m., stop smoking at 2. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
If it's happening with the Indianapolis Colts,
They give it to Taylor.
then it's happening on the Fan.
Jacksonville has the lead for the first time. The first touchdown of the season for Mo Alley Cox, and he made it with one hand. Colts back on top into the end zone, and it is intercepted by Jacksonville. Antonio Johnson ends the game, and the Colts losing skid now 6 games.
Sports Radio 93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
The official home of the Indy Sports Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Why not, Mr. Venkman? Because you did not use the magic word. What is the magic word, Mr. Venkman? Please.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
Oh, we got a birthday to celebrate coming in here. By the way, Butler Creighton later on tonight. What is that on here in the building? Is that on here tonight? I should have it right in front of my face right here, don't I? Oh, Butler and Creighton later on tonight, 8:30, right here. Shout out to Todd Meyer for writing that in front of my face and me not realizing it until just now. Butler and Creighton later on tonight. Notre Dame and Stanford also this evening in college basketball. JMV, nice to be going into Creighton tonight when it's not dollar beer night. Dogs need to get this one, Jarrett. We'll see what Butler can do on the road. This is not your average McDermott coach type of team right now. I mean, I think Greg McDermott's got the type of squad that we're used to seeing at Creighton. Again, 8:30 later on tonight. Butler and Creighton. I mentioned the birthday celebration on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Greg Rakestraw, who joins us now. You are 49 today. Is that accurate?
That is correct, sir. Heading towards 50, 1 year to go.
Happy birthday to you, brother.
Thank
How you feeling? Do you feel 49 or younger, older?
I feel
what?
old. I feel old, fat, and winded. Then again, I just played tennis for the last hour, so at least I've got an excuse.
That is well done out of Greg Rakestraw with the tennis play. Do you have more of a Jim Courier or Stefan Edberg or a Mats Wilander type of game?
I was always more along the lines of Jim Courier because I was a baseball player first, so I like having a target. So I was going to try to draw you in and hit around you. Now I'm for not dying. That is my game plan. If you can win the point, great. But if not, stay upright. As you like to say, keep your toes tapping.
No doubt.
Kind of my general thought when I'm playing these days.
Edberg and Wilander were Swedish, so they were serve and volley guys, were they not, back in the late 80s, early 90s?
Edberg was. Wilander was the opposite. Wilander was the guy that would just try to rally with you forever. So when Wilander and Lendl would play, it would be great. The problem would be it's half complete a match. So Wilander was the opposite of most of the Swedes.
Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense right there. Greg Rakestraw is on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Appreciate you joining us. All right, Riley Leonard's going to get the start. Of course, you got one final post-game show with Bill Brooks coming up after the game, the regular season finale on Sunday. Nobody should be surprised that he's going to get the start in this finale that is meaningless right here. But anything in general terms you're looking for this team whatsoever, or are you just kind of looking to get to the post game and call it a season?
No, I mean, we'll talk probably 5% in the post game show about what happens on Sunday. Everything else will be kind of recapping 25 and trying to project what 26 and changes and things that need to be done, et cetera. Riley Leonard should get the ball in this scenario because you need to give him more live fire action in case you need him at the start of next year. Again, I think the best case scenario for this team is Daniel Jones as their quarterback, but he's under contract, and you're not sure if he's going to be ready by the middle of September. So I understood the move. I'm not sure I agree with it, but I understood the move. Basically saying 3 weeks ago, we don't think Riley Leonard is ready to go in a game that has to get us in the playoff. Let's go get the best available option, which was felt to be Phillip Rivers. And as crazy as that sounds, it wasn't like handing the ball to Brett Rippon or trying to get somebody else off a practice squad would have given you a better option. So if you felt Riley wasn't the guy, go bring in Phillip Rivers. As soon as that did not work and you could not make that change from Saturday night to Sunday at 1 o'clock, you weren't going to flip that script. Rivers is going to get the ball on Sunday regardless. Give it to Riley, see how he does. And again, you're just trying to get him more experience in case you need him for week 1 next year.
I'm curious, and Greg Rakestraw's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. We're all looking, searching, pontificating, if you will, for answers. Do you think those answers from Carly Ursay-Gordon will come immediately following, as in Monday of next week, or might we be waiting for a minute? Because I mean, really, we don't really know. We don't really know what the decision is going to be because there is no certainly past in decision making from her. But is it going to be sooner rather than later in your expectation?
I think it has to be, because if you're going to make a move, general manager spot, then obviously you got to get a scouting plan, game plan, free agency plan, whatever the case may be. And so I think that needs to be made immediately. And again, last year, you saw the tweet that went out from Jim as soon as the last game of the season was over that, hey, we are, staying the same course. We're going to roll forward who we got and plan accordingly. So I think you're giving the gift of time slightly on the head coach. I don't think it has to be tied together at the hip, to use the phraseology from a decade or so ago. But if you're going to make a move at the general manager position, you have to make that move as soon as possible. Not saying it's going to happen, but I think if you're going to make that move, it has to be day of or day after. I really do.
Greg Rakestraw on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Let's switch some gears to college basketball. So you get Butler on the road at Creighton. I mentioned this as we walked you in here. This is the type of game on the road. Normally it would be difficult, and I'm sure it's going to be difficult anyway, but this is not your usual Creighton squad that Butler sees later on tonight.
Correct. This is a gettable game for Butler. And again, everything is pass-fail for the Bulldogs. Did you make the NCAA tournament or not? And still, because of having such a stretch of conference games left to go, plenty of opportunities to do so. I don't know if we've entered JMV must-win territory, but this is one that this group can go get.
All right, you look at the Big Ten landscape. We saw the Boilermakers win last night. Kind of interesting comments, per usual, from Matt Painter regarding the college basketball landscape right now and the so-called rules of it. We'll sidestep that for at least the moment. Purdue going into the Big Ten, how do they compare with those elite-level squads of the conference? And I guess if we're talking about those elite-level squads, you kind of begin with Dusty May and Michigan from what we've seen so far.
Correct. Michigan is the team you set your watch to if you're not named Purdue. Again, this is different. Maybe it's not even different in college football anymore, because you could have multiple teams from the same conference in the championship game, Final Four, Elite Eight, whatever the case may be. But I think everything for Purdue is get to Indianapolis. And so you don't have to be better than Michigan. It's nice if you are, but everything is about making sure you are battle-tested, ready, and seeded to get the best possible path to play a Final Four in your own backyard. So, and for even as good as Michigan is, and if Purdue were able to best them in the Big Ten tournament or best them in the regular season, you'd say that's great. Now get back to the Final Four that you did 2 years ago and get to that final game you did 2 years ago and win the national championship like you didn't do 2 years ago. That's just the bar that this group has set by being so good for the last handful of years, and especially the last 4 that this core group has been together in terms of Braden Fletcher and Trey Kaufman-Renz. So the Big Ten is always important. The Big Ten gets you battle-tested, but I really think for Purdue, it's almost, hey, let's see how you are in mid-March, because that's how this group is going to be remembered.
Greg, and speaking of Dusty May in Michigan, they are putting up, at least offensively, certainly,
right.
And the difference in all their games, even against elite level teams, top 10 teams, top 5 teams, they're doing some things we have not seen.
Correct. You give the coaching mind of Dusty all the resources you can have at Michigan, you're going to tear some things up. It's exactly what they are doing. It's impressive. It's jaw-dropping. And frankly, I don't think there is the same level of pressure there that there is on a Matt Painter or there is at other places in terms of success. I don't think they're judging them. They'd like to be a Final Four team. They'd like to be a national championship team. But obviously they've done that in recent history in terms of the program. So it's a matter of getting back there and seeing what happens. I think that group is given the luxury of enjoying the journey, maybe a little bit more than even Purdue is.
All right, IU basketball-wise, 10-3, 1-1. They open up on Sunday the 4th against Washington. Again, reestablishing Big Ten play. Your thoughts on Darren DeVries and the accomplishments of the Hoosiers so far this season?
It's been good, not great. Clearly, a lot of the traits that fans have been asking for, this team is better at, just namely shooting the basketball and playing a much more enjoyable style. The question mark is kind of the overall level of talent, and can they, hang with the level of athleticism needed to be successful in terms of Big Ten play. So we'll see how that plays out. I find it curious they have this lengthy gap in their season, almost like they knew, you know what, maybe we should just clear some space for the football team to play on New Year's Day in a college football playoff game. So we'll see what the ring rust looks like for this group come Sunday afternoon. But again, I think so far for Indiana, it is as expected. You can kind of tell that they are heading in the right direction, and I think the long-term future is bright. I think there will be some ups and downs for the Hoosiers this year. And again, the same thing I said about Butler, I will say about Darren DeVries and IU. It is a one-question season for Indiana. Did you make the NCAA tournament? And I think this is a team that is capable of doing exactly that.
All right, IU football, Rose Bowl Thursday. We get the college football playoff officially back underway coming up tomorrow night. But let's focus in on IU and Bama. Speaking of unprecedented territory, that's exactly what we're dealing with right here with IU football and doing what they're dotting with Curt Cignetti and the Hoosiers going into this game.
It's crazy to say Indiana's the better team, but Indiana's the better team. Let's see how the layoff, and can you flip it back on after you have been lauded, and so deservingly so, for claiming a Big Ten championship, for having the Heisman Trophy winner. I think Curt Cignetti has said all the right things, and clearly this group has followed his lead every step of the way the last 2 years. But can you flip that switch back on 26 days removed from the last time you laced them up in anger? And to me, that is the question mark, not about what Alabama poses differently than anything they have seen from Oregon or Ohio State. I don't think this Bama team is anything different from those two teams Indiana has already beaten on a neutral site and 2,500 miles away from home. It's just mentally, do you still have that same drive and focus after everybody's been singing your praises for the last 4 weeks?
And the one thing that I'm concerned about above all else is the flat-footed start after having so much time off.
Correct. Where Alabama played, has 10 days off, 11 days off. So they've got a little bit of a gap since the last time they played, but not the entire month, which is obviously the unique nature of this college football playoff system.
It's Greg Rakestraw, kind enough to join us on his birthday on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Well, happy birthday. I know that Amy has something incredibly planned for you, so enjoy that, Mr. 49.
Thank you, sir. It involves working this evening. I got a doubleheader up in Kokomo I am heading to now, but then 3 days off starting tomorrow, which I'm very much looking forward to.
Well done. Greg, I appreciate it. Enjoy your birthday.
See you, bud. Thank you.
So Greg Rakestraw on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So does that go out over the air, that sound too, where it sounds like I'm talking to somebody in the Rally's drive-thru?
Yep, that's going out.
What the hell is that? That is from his phone on speaker, I think.
I think that's what's happening, is it's picking up you talking to him.
Now, the constant clicking, I don't know what that is. We're trying to diagnose problems systematically here as we move along. And I'm bright enough to do that. Hell, I can only barely do one thing at once, much like multitask. I mentioned Michigan and their start. How about Fred Hoiberg and Nebraska and their start? Michigan State, as always. Boilermakers right there. Mick Cronin and UCLA. Going to be a very interesting Big Ten, especially at the top. And we'll see if Nebraska is able to back up what Nebraska has accomplished so far, winning their first 12 out of the gate. Quick break. We'll come back. We'll get a cover's viewpoint of the college football playoff, including Bama and IU, coming up a little bit later on. Mike Chappell normally is on a Thursday. Today, however, because we're not on Thursday, he joins us in the 5 o'clock hour on a Tuesday. Ralston's Draft House, Bud Light Blue Friday on Friday. So once we do return, we're on the road. Hopefully you join us off of Mass Ave at Ralston's. JMV Takeover starts tomorrow night on B105.7. Where else do you need to go? And we're also trying to fix things on the fly. The stream, the app, HD Radio, the AAA membership lounge via YouTube Live. 317-239-1070 for the text line. Get your messages into me. I will read them. Or if you want a phone at 239-1070. This is 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on. Like a close friend who will give it to you straight. The friend who will tell you that new haircut, it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. This holiday season through January 4th, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto-pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Let me help you start your new year off right with a ride and the incredible service from start to finish that you're going to get from Indiana's best, my friend Eric Wilson, and Andy Moore Buick GMC, 131st and State Road 37. That's in Fishers. You want to know why? Because it is all encompassing. It is hassle-free in terms of what you're going to see. The inventory is right there. You're going to see what you want. You're going to be able to select what you want. You're also going to get incentives to buy, which are like big coupons for you to save. And then to consistently make sure you get the absolute most in raising the bar out of the life expectancy of your vehicle. That's service after the sale, all in one place. That's why it's Indiana's best. Tell Eric that I sent you. Get that deal done today. Start 2026 with a new set of wheels with Andy Moore Buick GMC, 131st State Road 37 in Fishers.
Looking for something to do on New Year's Eve? Nemhard has it. Drives to the dotted half, up top to Huff, and Huff delivers a catch-and-shoot three. Start your New Year celebration as the Pacers host the Orlando Magic in an afternoon game Wednesday at 3. It's a celebration for the whole family. 4 seconds to shoot, 3 seconds to shoot. Nemhard way out on the left edge, beat the clock and hit a three. Get your tickets at Pacers.com/tickets. Jackson lays it in and draws a foul. Pacers Magic, Wednesday at 3.
JMV here for Premier Weight Loss. There are 2 Central Indiana locations. That's on North Meridian and in Fishers. I don't do math so well, but I know this, that since July, I have gone from 255 pounds to 178 pounds. Me trying to do math is like you using telehealth. It does not work. Go with the best that is out there. Invested in you. That's Premier Weight Loss. The one thing that I have noticed is my overall health. My blood pressure completely out of whack this time last year. Normal now. My body fat percentage from 35% to 11%. It has been incredible, and it's all thanks to Premier Weight Loss. If you're thinking about doing it, don't wait. Contact Premier Weight Loss today or check them out online. That's PWLND.com. That's Premier Weight Loss, PWLND.com. Tell them JMV sent you.
Get ready for heel-tapping fun as you discover the new $2 Wizard of Oz scratch-off from the Hoosier Lottery. With 4 unique scenes and prizes up to $10,000, the Emerald City awaits. From the Hoosier Lottery, champions of play. Play responsibly.
The Fan cares, and if you or someone you care about needs food assistance, we have resources for you, including food distribution locations with an interactive map. Also, learn how you can make a difference for friends and neighbors in need, all at 1075thefan.com.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Heat and cool your man cave, attic, garage, or bonus room without adding ductwork with Mitsubishi Electric ductless mini splits.
To find out more, just go to AbsoluteComfort.org.
The top-ranked Hoosiers face the Crimson Tide of Alabama in the Rose Bowl. New Year's Day at 3 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Son, you got a panty on your head. Just drive fast, eh?
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Yeah, we just want to know the rules so we can abide by them. Like we don't know what's going on. So that's what I would say. Like we need some leadership. We need somebody to step up and like, here's how it's ran. Here's name, image, and likeness. Here's the transfer situation. Like whatever. Like we can go on to all these different examples, and like give us the rules. We'll abide by them. You know, because that's who the rules are for. The rules aren't for the people who cheat. The rules are for the people that abide by them. And so like that's where this all goes down, and there's no communication. Like we just want to know. Like tell us what to do. Tell us how to go about it. And then, like, you know, we'll go from there. And there's just a lot of gray area right now.
Matt Painter from last night after the game, the win over Kent State, asked in the press conference about the current college basketball landscape. Wanting to know the rules where, I mean, it is just the Wild West right now, and it's going to proceed forward, I'm assuming, until what? Who's going to get involved with it next? But right now, if you're Scott Drew, and it's funny, you kind of thought that this was going to open the door when it first happened to free agency, and you know that's the way that it is. Somebody asked me yesterday if there's going to be a solution anytime soon. I don't know if there's going to be a solution anytime soon. Is it running anybody away? I will say this. It is so tough to run me away. And I get what you're saying, if it has, or maybe if your interest has declined in college basketball, in this case in particular, because of all that is going on and, you know, bringing back guys, you know, for play that have been drafted in the NBA that has eligibility left. For me, it's a little bit more difficult because I'm always going to watch basketball. But I do get what you're saying. I don't know how many people are exactly like me out there. Purdue a 101-60 winner over Kent State, but some good stuff per usual from Matt Painter, and hopefully we'll get Matt on probably at some point either next week or the week after next once again. But when asked, he's always going to answer. And there you go, looking for some form of leadership in college basketball. Matt Painter. I've got leadership for your snackability coming up tomorrow night, and that's the spreadability of Win Shula's for New Year's Eve. You guys ready for it? New Year's Eve with Win Shula's original sharp cheddar bacon and cheddar jalapeno pepper. Make sure if you're hosting a New Year's Eve party, that is on the table. Win Shula's. Get it at your favorite Meijer location throughout the state of Indiana. This is an interesting question on the text line, 317-239-1070. JMV, if you were named general manager of the Colts next Monday, what is the first move that you make? Matt in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Thank you, Matt in Ann Arbor, for listening and for giving me this particular question. You have to me, if Daniel Jones is going to be the path, and I'm expecting that's the case, if you're going to wait on him, because the problem you're going to have, you cannot make these huge deals because of the lack of assets that you have. But the one thing you're going to have to do, you're going to have to find a way, and considering he wants to and doesn't jump at, one of these big offers as a free agent, I think you got to find a way to bring back Alec Pierce, because I think Alec Pierce helps make Daniel Jones. They don't have any other deep threats, and you're going to have to make tough decisions on guys like Michael Pittman Jr. And maybe even tough decisions like DeForest Buckner. I don't know about the tough decision on Zaire Franklin. Kenny Moore. I could probably take Buckner out of it. I'd more put Buckner in there because of the neck situation. And, things are still cloudy regarding Mooney Ward. Moving forward, or at least you've heard he wants to play. Kenny Moore is probably going to be in this category. You're going to have to make some incredibly tough decisions to make sure you secure or at least are in the running. Try to position yourself to secure Alec Pierce, knowing that you're hoping that you can create a similar thing with a healthy Daniel Jones coming back next year. I know. That is as cloudy as the outlook of this team. But that is the first thing that I would do. First thing that I would do. And I know the first thing that I would do is not to get rid of the head coach. But the first thing I would do is try to figure out how you can make sure that you're in the running or can secure a willing to come back Alec Pierce, especially if Daniel Jones is the target to be once again your starting quarterback. Get back to that. Thank you very much, Matt in Ann Arbor, Michigan, for that question. Come back, hour number 2. We've got Covers.com input in the college football game, especially with the college football playoff, which is officially underway tomorrow night. We'll get into that and more coming up at the bottom of the hour. And Mike Chappell of CBS 4 and Fox 59, I'll ask him a similar question, as did Matt from Ann Arbor, me a moment ago, coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. The stream, the app, it's HD Radio, the AAA membership lounge via YouTube Live. Stay right there or join the show. We'd love to have you. It's 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Welcome to Wawa. We're open 24/7, so when the sun goes down but everyone's still up, Wawa has your late night fuel. Headed to a hangout? Stop in for snacks and sodas. Binge your favorite shows with burgers and hoagies. Gather around the table with garlic knots and a cheesy Wawa pizza. Or just chill on the couch with fries and whatever milkshake sounds good. Your night just got a whole lot tastier. Freshly made burgers, pizza, and so much more. When you got a late night craving, you got a Wawa. Price and participation may vary by store.
Oh, you got to love it, man. What a great party. It was a much better party than it was an actual game, and considering the results on Sunday, because that's what Kyle Kinnett does, puts on great parties with BullseyeEventGroup.com. That's the Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. But I do want to remind you of this. If you're looking, for example, if all of a sudden you get wound up and you want to make that trek to Pasadena, you want to get some tickets and go out there for New Year's Day. All of a sudden you get a burr and you go, I think I want to go Bullseye's got tickets for you. That's bullseyeeventgroup.com. I can also tell you, too, with an IU win and advancement, you're probably going to get, at least Kyle has explained to me, they're going to try to put together an Atlanta package for you as well. What he does is incredible. And certainly, if you're interested in attending the Super Bowl for whatever reason, the best Super Bowl party out there is with Bullseye, and the rest of the NFL has taken notice with the best pregame party around. BullseyeEventGroup.com. The Colts VIP tailgate started it all. Also, if you're looking for tickets to that tough-to-find event, log on right now. That's BullseyeEventGroup.com.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As director of diamond sourcing, it's my job to make sure every single diamond is worthy of a Shane Company engagement ring. Our team travels the world to see diamonds in person and handpick each one. That type of dedication only comes from working for a company that's been a family business since 1929. No matter your budget, your diamond is guaranteed to be the most beautiful because a friend wants you to pick from only the best. Drop by your store or shaneco.com and see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
This is Window Nation, your source for affordable replacement windows at the highest quality. Maybe you've been feeling drafts through your old windows, or they stick when you try to open them, or they outright leak in bad weather. You need the experienced pros at Window Nation. They've installed over 3 million windows and have high-quality options to fit any budget. You could pay a lot less than the other big guys and still get the premium windows you're dreaming of. Their custom-made windows are guaranteed to be a perfect fit in your home, and they back it up with the best warranty in the industry. So shut out the drafts, make opening and closing a breeze, and lock out the leaks for good. Get a great deal on replacement windows from Window Nation today. Go to getwindownation.com or call 866-90NATION for your free estimate. And for a limited time, get 50% off all window styles, plus pay no interest for 5 years. Go to getwindownation.com or call 866-90NATION.
With Wawa's Rewards program, you can rack up points on the items you buy every day, even fuel. Boost your totals with a breakfast sizzly. Score points with your morning coffee. With Wawa Rewards, points put the power in your hands. You can choose to redeem them for what you love most, like an iced latte for an extra pick-me-up or your lunchtime hoagie. Download the Wawa app today. When you gotta get rewarded, you gotta Wawa. Fuel rewards not available in New Jersey or were legally prohibited. See full details at wawarewards.com. Price and participation may vary by store.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone. Group chat. Smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696. And manage your diabetes as easy as...
From the DriveHubler.com studios, this is 93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
Soccer Saturday featuring Indy 11. If this is your football, this is your show. Saturday at 9 on The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
I am the cream, the cream of the crop. And there is no one that does it better.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
Right, yeah. Well, obviously you're right. The focus is on the playoff game. And, everything we've done in the past has gotten us to this point. And the most important thing is we have a great day today. And have great preparation between now and kickoff, put it on the field against a great opponent. So, there have been a lot of highlights that have been well documented in our season, particularly going on the road and getting some big victories and, great team wins and the quarterback playing really well in the final 4 minutes of the game and winning a big trophy. and a lot of guys awards, undefeated, Big Ten championship, those kind of things. So great win to finish the year. And then you got about 2.5 weeks, right? And everybody's wearing a lot of different hats. You're looking at your 26 team coaches, player retention, evaluating portal, looking at, and then you're getting a lot of weight room work in with your team, rest, recovering, but getting some practice in. But once we knew who the opponent was, the next day for the coaches was a Sunday. The next day for the players was a Monday. I had to reset, recalibrate kind of the team mindset because they've been getting a lot of smoke blown up or for 2.5 weeks, right?
Not from us.
No.
I promise.
And I think I think we've done a pretty good job. I wasn't real pleased with yesterday, which, normally is a travel day, Friday walkthrough, but it was a Wednesday practice. But, we'll come out here, we'll get good work, and let's go play.
Kurt Cignetti on the Big Ten Network a little bit earlier today, right, is when that was, the meeting with the media pre-Rose Bowl in Pasadena. Hey, welcome back to the show. Chris Hagan joined us from Southern California a little bit earlier from Fox 59, the podcast. 1075thefan.com. Greg Rakestraw, celebrating his 49th birthday, was also here. Andrew Cayley, covers.com. About the college football playoff games and the odds and some of the reasons why you should go one direction or the other with that. Andrew, bottom of the hour. Mike Chappell normally is on a Thursday, but today, because we're not in on Thursday, going to join us in the 5 o'clock hour. And we're going to get even more deep into this whole Colts thing that's going on right now and the decision to move forward or to pull the plug or to make changes or simply to do something. Because the something, and especially the something in the past 9 years, it's not working. And it's likely not going to work in year 10. You can even argue in year 4, but I can at least listen to the 3-year head coaching argument going into year 4. And as I mentioned, you've tried everything, and that's fantastic. But not even when you're in a good position has it worked out. And I can't sit here and tell you that you're just born under a bad sign, or you need an exorcism, or it's just bad luck. Decision-making and execution has led this organization to where it is right now. And you tell me something doesn't need to be done about that. It has to. I brought this up a little bit earlier, too. I was asked by Matt in Ann Arbor what I would do if I were the general manager. And I am prioritizing Alec Pierce, even if it does seem that he may get better offers, more interesting offers, maybe even more interesting situations out there someplace else. But I find by whatever means necessary to make sure that he is back. And here's why. So this was sent via the text line at 317-239-1070. Doug is in Evansville, Indiana, writes this: JMV, does Daniel Jones have the arm strength to maximize the deep ball ability of Pierce? Seems like he was short on some throws with Pierce when Pierce had his man beaten. Love the show again, Doug in Evansville. Doug, I will tell you this. I think that Alec Pierce creates the deep ball for Daniel Jones. I think without Alec Pierce, there is no deep ball for Daniel Jones. Because Alec Pierce not only is a field stretcher, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say Alec Pierce is the second coming of Jerry Rice. But if Jones is the quarterback, your deep threat is Pierce, because beyond just being talented at that position, there aren't many better at going up and getting a 50-50. And oftentimes with Jones, you're going to get a 50-50 that's thrown, especially if it's the deep ball variety. Without Alec Pierce, you don't have that threat. This team doesn't have that threat. And if that's what you're going to come back with Daniel Jones, that is going to be problematic. That is a must. And we were talking to Stephen Holder yesterday, and if you mention, I think it's rolling in a promo right now too, if you heard him mention regarding Alec Pierce, as he was talking to us yesterday, he didn't have confidence in Pierce coming back. That's what I'm prioritizing. And don't get me wrong, you still have issues off the edge. You have issues at linebacker. You have health issues. You're going to have age issues. But the one thing you have to be able to, more so than anything else, control is to what is going to help, and especially help your injured Achilles compromised quarterback in his return. And this offense's ability to throw it down the field hinges upon Alec Pierce. Again, Daniel Jones may not have the strongest arm in the NFL, but he is down the field capable because Alec Pierce gives him that capability. That's who I prioritize in this. And that's why I said it the way that I did. And it's nothing against Daniel Jones. I mean, hell, Matthew Stafford will find it tough to get it down the field at a clip in which he once did. But at the same time, you have to have guys that are able to stretch it. And Pierce is the one guy this team has. And you got to prioritize that. When you think about it, when I mention how much I like Houston, which inevitably means they're going to lose and lose really early in the postseason. But the reason why I like Houston so much is because what they have at positions of absolute need, positions of necessity. They came off the edge or come off the edge of both sides. They have a quarterback. They have a difference-making wide receiver. They have those pieces in tight games that can get the job done. They have pieces coming off the edge in tight games that can be the difference. And again, maybe it's too much love given this Texans team thinking that they're going to march through the AFC, but I like this team because of what they bring to the NFL essential positions. And then when you look at that in reflection with the Colts, what do they have? And the one thing that you can't take away is the essential position, and especially that threat that Alec Pierce demands from other teams. That respect that he demands from other teams. Again, I'm not putting him in the Hall of Fame, but he is essential personnel for this team. There are a lot of other guys that are veteran guys that I think you can look into to try to do something else with and may have to go someplace else because of it. And those are going to be tough decisions that are going to have to be made. And this is why this is going to take some quality decision-making, some high-level decision-making, because you've kind of made your bet on this. So now it's up to you to make some room. You got to make some room. All starts with the decision-making of Carly Ursay-Gordon essentially coming up. I guess we'd expect that on Monday. JMV, totally agree that Pierce helps Jones immensely, providing the deep threat. I was wondering if Pierce would rather go play with a stronger arm quarterback. That is something that I brought up a little bit earlier. And I wonder about this situation if, now I know he likes it here, but if there was another team that had the essentials that I just talked about, that were maybe a dude in the wide receiving core like Pierce away from doing something special. But when you look at this team looks miles away from anything. That's worth thinking about. That's where I would start. JMV, if the Colts fans really want to run it back with Daniel Jones and Shane Steichen, you guys are a glutton for punishment, Matty Matt. I will tell you this. A healthy Jones with Shane Steichen looked pretty good. Now, for me, you know where I stand. I was ready to go ahead and be done with it all, and I still am. But I just don't know how you're going to be able to manipulate the quarterback position if you don't bring him back. And it seems like that they want to do that. Decision-making wise, you have to find a different decision maker. I like Steichen enough for what he showed with Daniel Jones where I could certainly accept that. And I'm not held to, well, you got to have the general manager and have to have the head coach, on the same timeline. At this point, I don't give a fat crap what timeline or any of this nerdery you're talking about. I just want to see a team that is competitive and can put together a competitive product for the entirety of the season. I want to see a team that doesn't wilt regardless of the circumstances, healthy or not, in December. A team that's not a nightmare around Christmas time. A team that you just sit around and you wait for. And I'm not suggesting that that's what you're going to get just by making a change. But what I am telling you, that all the decisions in the past leading up to this right now, you've tried everything and the result has been the same. So what would you do? So I am willing with Steichen. Do I think Steichen is like the second coming? No. Do I think he and Jones had something good going? Yes. If Daniel Jones is that guy again, if he's comfortable here, and I guess he's going to be unlike a lot of other dudes out there and be back quicker from an Achilles injury than anybody of all time. I don't know if it's that. But let's just say, for example, that's going to be your guy, that I'm okay with the coach still being the guy. But otherwise, then you can just go ahead and start new. And if you do start new, then Alec Pierce is probably going to start new someplace else too. That is just a thought. Like, you look at it this way, and all the accolades, and rightly so, are going to Liam Cohen. You saw the team in Jacksonville come in here on Sunday and beat the Colts, having an outstanding season. Like, you had 6 seasons with the Giants where Daniel Jones, arguably, with the exception of maybe one season, couldn't find his ass with both hands. Whether it was Brian Daboll or, just the overall, I hate to use this term too, but I will right here, culture of that organization and that team, whatever. But, much like you saw Cohen unlock something with Trevor Lawrence, you did see Steichen unlock something with Jones. And I think, in turn, Jones unlocked something with Steichen. Because Steichen was, competition or not, he was dealing with this team and this offense early on. I think we'd all would love to have a heavy dose of that. And then you have to ask yourself, what else is there going to be available to do? Now, if you're asking me if you want to go ahead and do it all over and have a redo as much as you can, that's fine. The problem is you're kind of soaking in your creation right now. So if Daniel Jones is going to be your guy, you want to make sure that his best weapon, non-Jonathan Taylor division is still there. At least to me. And you got to find some ways to do it. You're going to have to crunch some numbers and do some things to make sure you can retain Alec Pierce, which I would think would be essential. JMV, the perfect scenario is Ballard's gone, Shane gets moved to OC, and we get a general manager and head coach, but that'll never happen. Yeah, that'll never happen. I think there's going to be a new decision maker regardless, but again, I could be wrong. I just can't get past the fact and wonder, again, when you sunk so much of what you had assets-wise into Sauce Gardner, that you just didn't say right then and right there, hey, this is the product that's coming back next year come hell or high water. So I'm okay with wiping it clean. I'm okay with splitting it down the middle. But I think as we have been for a while, we all should be pretty tired of the decisions. Even if you can blame the decisions, excuse the decisions, you cannot excuse the resume. All that stuff prior still counts. Still counts. JMV, about 20 minutes ago, raindrops were falling on my head. It looks like the rain may be stopping in Pasadena right around kickoff on Thursday. Hey, that is our meteorologist on site in Southern California, good friend of the show, Jim McCann. Happy holidays to you, Jim McCann. Suggesting that maybe the rain pushes out of the Pasadena area. Maybe is that the San Gabriel Mountains that are outside? I'm looking at James as if he would know. Outside the Pasadena area coming up on Thursday. It's funny, and Chris Hagan was right when we were talking about that a little bit earlier. You hear one side of things suggesting that, if it does rain, that is going to be beneficial to IU because of the running game and because Bama, frankly, doesn't have a great running game. And then the other side, you're thinking, well, you know what? Bama's been here and done that, and if you're not used to those situations, maybe that's going to compromise IU. I just would tell you this right now, and I know it still feels a little bit odd to say it, but I would just tell you this right now, that this IU football team, to me, just looks to be the better team. Simply put, just looks to be the better team. But our forecast meteorologist, Jim McCann in Southern California, gives you that particular update. JMV, too much weight is put on the 8-2 start. A couple of those wins were luck. They could have been 5-3 very easily. Well, I mean, you could really, Josh, you could interchange if you wanted to Denver and LA. And those are both quality teams. They're not as close as I think. I see Rivers playing first 3 games next year, and the gap of Jones isn't ready. I can't imagine Rivers comes back whatsoever. I don't have a gap solution if Jones is not able to play, and I don't see Jones. He would have to be phenomenal in recovery time, would he not? That certainly would be my guess. Now, I don't see Rivers as any longer the option. And, whether or not you hated the story, loved the story, whatever. You have to find another option to start the season if Daniel Jones is not ready. But I think it's clear that Daniel Jones is going to be. That's who they expect to be the guy to start the season. And if Daniel Jones is here, it's also essential to have Alec Pierce around. And if Daniel Jones is going to be here, it would make sense if you had Steichen around. But believe me, you cannot go. There's zero way you can go into this offseason and not make some significant changes. We talked about executive-wise, but also player personnel-wise. Some changes are going to have to be. You just have to. And even if you said back during the NFL trade deadline when you made that deal for Gardner, if you said, hey, this is going to be it and we're moving forward, hey, the whole landscape have changed and you still are who you are. It's not like this is just in a bubble of the final half of the season and the injuries, that's the reason why you lost. This is an all-encompassing thing right here. These decisions aren't just made from what has taken place from November until now. Quick when we shall return, or excusing that away from November until now. 239-1070 is the number. Andrew Cayley of Covers.com is going to join us on the other side. We'll talk about these college football playoff bowl games and get his thoughts on a lot of those, including the Rose Bowl coming up on Thursday. Mike Chappell with a lot of these questions that you guys have posed to me I'll dial it back and give those to Mike coming up here in the 5 o'clock hour as well. But stream the app, HD Radio. Become a AAA member today. Start a new year off, right? Become a AAA member. They have your back on the open road wherever you go. That is AAA.com. Become a AAA member today and know this, that all this fun stuff you like to do around Central Indiana, there are great discounts you're going to find with our friends from AAA. AAA.com. A shout out to Matt Goins. AAA.com today. Mike Chappell, a little over 30. Andrew Cayley coming up on the other side. You and I next. It's 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
If you're feeling off your game, low T could be the cause. Your local Game Day Men's Health can help. Our licensed medical team offers fast in-house testing with results on your first visit. We're leaders in testosterone therapy, erectile dysfunction, and peptide therapies, and we'll build a personalized plan to help you get back in the game. Start today at GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Search online for your nearest Game Day Men's Health location to schedule an appointment, where every day is game day.
Hey, fantastic ideas. WeGrowHairIndy.com. That's 317-522-2995. WeGrowHairIndy.com. Today, you guys want your real growing hair again? It's just simply put a phone call away. Let Darren Andrews help you out on this, too. And this is not fake. There is no toupee action here. It's your real growing hair. And, I mean, hell, just ask me. I'll tell you. Ask me, I'll show you. It does work, and ultimately, it's up to you. If you want the option of your real growing hair, it's there. If you want to be bald, be bald. I'm sure you look great either way. Me, myself, I want to know if I want to double back to 1983 and get my Steve Alford hairdo all over again, the bi-level butt cut at Command Performance. I can do that with WeGrowHairIndy.com. If you're like me, and you want that real growing hair, 317-522-2995. Tell Darren that I sent you. WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
I'm Mark Boyle, voice of the Indiana Pacers. For your best shot at better water, go local with C&J Water. They're Hoosiers serving Hoosiers, bringing cleaner, safer, better-tasting water to homes across central Indiana. When you purchase a new water softener in November or December, C&J Water donates to the Pacers Foundation, helping those in need here at home. Better water for your family, helping those in need at home and abroad. For your best shot at better water, trust the local pros at C&J Water.
Oh, you may be a double dipper, but I'm going to say that's okay. Maybe that is a party foul, but when it comes to the spreadability of Win Schuler's, double dipping, let's prioritize that with original bacon and cheddar, sharp cheddar, and jalapeno pepper, one of the fan favorites out there. Why? Because it is worthy of double dipping. Whether you do it like Costanza or you do like the dude, abide at your New Year's Eve party. Make sure Win Schuler's is a part of that snack table. Win Schuler's spreadability, Neiman's Harvest Market in Carmel, Gordon's Food Service, and any Meijer location in the state of Indiana. New Year's Eve elite level snacking with Win Schuler's.
Get ready for heel-tapping fun as you discover the new $2 Wizard of Oz scratch-off from the Hoosier Lottery. With 4 unique scenes and prizes up to $10,000, the Emerald City awaits. From the Hoosier Lottery, champions of play. Play responsibly.
It's JMV for BullseyeEventGroup.com, the Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. All you can eat, all you can drink. Before each Colts home game, make your game day experience the best it can be. Entertained inside the Bullseye Event Center and the great food from celebrity chef Kelsey Murphy. That and more, and combo up your passes with tickets to the game. That's the BullseyeEventGroup.com Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. Get your passes now. BullseyeEventGroup.com. Hey, it's JMV. If you like bourbon, Big Red Liquors is your place. Visit bourbonworld.net to get all the info you need on the good stuff, along with monthly allocated raffles online and in-store. You can sign up for weekly bourbon reviews at bourbonworld.net as well. If you're passionate about bourbon, this is your place. Log on to bourbonworld.net today. All a part of what Big Red Liquors can do for you. For a location nearest you, log on right now. That's BigRedLiquors.com.
Food insecurity is an urgent problem, one that impacts real Hoosiers. You can help today. Gleaners needs donations. Your contribution goes further with Gleaners. For every $10 you give, Gleaners leverages their resources to turn your $10 into $90 worth of groceries for families who desperately need help right now. Your gift benefits local community members, and every dollar counts. Gleaners also needs volunteers now to help with warehouse distribution. Go to gleaners.org and donate or get involved today.
Make this your year. Looking for a new career in the high-demand fields of IT and cybersecurity? Attend classes live online or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
Surprise! Your expenses this month were way higher than you expected. Also, you forgot to renew your website domain, and now you're in a bidding war.
You should see the look on your face.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Plus, the fridge died in the break room, and now everything smells weird.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway, because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Hey there, Jake Query for Surfside. Look for the can with the sunset stripes. This time of year in particular, when you're needing sunshine, no problem. Sunshine in the can is Surfside. I'm talking about iced tea and vodka, lemonade and vodka. New flavors coming for the new year, but for now, the raspberry tea, the green tea, and the lemonade itself with that little splash of vodka is so awesome. And with no carbonation, oh so smooth, so easy to drink, and just 100 calories and 2 grams of sugar. Surfside, look for it wherever you buy your favorite adult beverage, and please be 21 and drink responsibly.
Heat and cool with nearly geothermal efficiency in places you can't fit ductwork with Mitsubishi electric ductless mini splits.
Just go to absolutecomfort.org. That's absolutecomfort.org.
The Ride with JMV.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Oh, good Earth, Wind, and Fire lead in right here. James, got a little Earth, Wind, and Fire for you in the JMV Takeover. Season 6 debut coming up tomorrow night at 6 on B1057. And you will love this. I've got about 25% of an idea what the hell I'm doing on this new software. So that's going to be great. And what's sad about it is I've been in here endlessly in the past week trying to understand it, and I don't get it. So that's going to be fun. Tomorrow night, 6 until we'll go up until obviously midnight, 25 to 26. But Skids is going to have a mini mix. It's going to get you into the new year of 2026. So we'll go well past midnight coming up tomorrow night. JMV Takeover Season 6. We are back. And evidently a shout out. We've got a brand new Double Shot Power sponsor. High Noon Hard Seltzer Double Shot Power. Shout out to High Noon, my man Romy coming with the High Noon. And that begins coming up tomorrow night, 6 o'clock on B105.7. Also beginning coming up tomorrow, 7:30, the Goodyear Cotton Bowl with the 10-seed Miami, the 2-seed Ohio State. 7:30, that is underway. That will get your college football playoff double dipping days going on from New Year's Eve to New Year's Day and that trifecta. And joining us to discuss the odds on those games and maybe even look forward to that, Andrew Cayley, Covers.com, is on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Happy New Year to you, Andrew. How are you?
I'm doing well. Happy New Year to you as well. Happy to be here.
Miami, Ohio State. Let's start right there because that game's going to go off first coming up tomorrow night at 7:30. Your thoughts on Miami being able to keep pace? Can they do that with Ohio State, especially considering the type of offense the Canes possess?
it all comes down to whether or not Carson Beck can be the Carson Beck who he was in that game against Notre Dame all the way back at the start of the season, or is he going to be a guy who threw 4 turnovers or 4 interceptions against Louisville in a game that almost cost Miami their season a few months ago? They have the defense that can compete with Ohio State, and Ohio State has only played a strong defense, I would say, twice this season. Indiana in the Big Ten championship game, and Texas in their season opener as well. Those were the only 2 elite defenses I would say they faced all season. Both of those games were close. Obviously, a 13-10 loss in the title game, and beating Texas 14-7. Now, the Ohio State offense has come a long way since that Texas game, obviously, but Miami qualifies as an elite defense. They are ranked top 10th in both defensive success rate and EPA per play that's expected, points added per play. These are just some advanced stats that I like to do my handicapping with. And to me, this tells me that the spread of 9.5 is just too much. I like the 9.5 points with Miami here, as long as big if is Carson Beck limits the mistakes. I think this will be a close game. I think Ohio State probably takes it in the long run. I think their big game experience will be the edge here. And I think they also have an edge in coaching with Ryan Day, which is not something I would have expected myself to say of maybe even before winning the national championship last year. But when it's lined up against Mario Cristobal, he's the guy that gives me pause when it comes to thinking like, hey, can Miami actually win this game outright? I am like 90% certain that Cristobal is going to do something to screw up Miami's chances late in this ballgame.
So Andrew Cayley at Covers.com, kind enough to join us to talk about the odds on the college football playoffs. Back underway coming up again tomorrow night in the Cotton Bowl with Ohio State and Miami. Did Ohio State show you, again, Ohio State's been in a position like this before, and we've seen, the high-level outcome here, but did they show you anything good and or maybe negative considering the last time we witnessed them out, and that was here in Indianapolis losing in that Big Ten title game?
Yeah, I for being a national title, the defending national champion, I feel like they still have something to prove. Julian Sayin hasn't shown me enough as a elite college quarterback yet, and as I mentioned, he's gone up against 2 strong defenses this season, and he has not looked great. And maybe can cause the same problems. They have an excellent defensive front led by Reuben Bain Jr. If they can pressure him consistently, then Miami's going to have a shot to keep this game close. I am worried about the quarterback play from Ohio State. They obviously have great guys at the skill positions, and that defense has maybe 2 of the top 5 guys that are going to go in the NFL draft in April. Very talented team, but it's the quarterback play that I still have questions about.
Kind of interesting, too. I wouldn't call them outliers. I guess kind of unknowns if you're looking at the matchup in the college football playoff where, you're probably going to have to do a little bit more hardcore research. I would assume that's the 4-5 game coming up in the Orange Bowl on New Year's Day at noon with Oregon and Texas Tech with, I think the last time I checked, the Ducks were 2.5-point favorites. Where do you start with that matchup, the first of 3 consecutive New Year's Day?
That's probably my favorite one of the day, to be honest. For people who haven't been paying attention to Texas Tech all season, you're going to be in for a real treat. They're a really, really fun football team. There'll be a lot of talk about how they bought the defense through the transfer portal, but it worked. It's a really, really elite defense. Once again, built by a strong defensive front 7. Buying defenses doesn't always work, so go ask Florida State from the last couple of seasons. So what Joe McGuire has done there at Texas Tech has obviously worked this season. That said, this Oregon team is really different, and I think they're one of my favorites to win the national championship right now, especially when it comes to the odds at 7-1. They're the 4th favorite right now, but at that price, I really like backing them because this is not the typical Oregon team that we have become accustomed to in the Dan Lanning era. We think of Bo Nix and Dylan Gabriel airing it out in those offenses. This is a physical Oregon rushing team, arguably the best rushing offense in the country. They lead the nation in EPA per rush. They've got 3 running backs that they can rely on. I love this kid, Jordan Davison, this freshman who is an absolute truck for them right now. Whittingham's obviously great as well, but they just attack you so differently. And if they get those wide receivers healthy that they've been missing for a long portion of this season, then Oregon's going to be a really, really tough team to beat. With their balance, and Dante Moore has shown a lot of poise this season, and I'll be interested to see how he does in this matchup against a very strong Texas Tech defense.
He is from Covers.com. Andrew Cayley sizing up the college football playoff double dip. One coming up tomorrow night, as I mentioned earlier, in the Cotton Bowl, and then 3 consecutive on New Year's Day, which leads us now to the Rose Bowl, which everybody cares about around here. The 1 seed Indiana, the 9 seed Alabama. Last check, IU 7-point favorites, which if you were to tell anybody this a handful of years ago, you would think that person telling you that would be absolutely hammered drunk, but it is true. IU, the 1 seed, and they're 7-point favorites in front of Alabama. So I want to start here with the Crimson Tide. Are they more like what we witnessed? Because that was really a Jekyll and Hyde performance that they won in Norman going back to the first round, that 9-8 game. Were they more like what we witnessed in disappointment in the game initial start, the first half, or more of what we saw in their close to win that game against the Sooners in the second?
That's a really good question. I think the answer lies somewhere in the middle, to be fair. Obviously, they're not as, they played out of their minds in the second half, and they played terribly in the, or I guess it was the first half of the first half and the second half of the second half. But I think this just has been a really inconsistent Alabama team all season long, and that is why you get those inconsistent stretches from them. The problem, Ty Simpson is a very good quarterback, but they just have no balance. They're getting nothing from the running game, just absolutely nothing from the running game. Obviously, they have enough talent at the wideout position and with Ty Simpson that they can be scary to stop in football games. But good defenses, like Indiana, like Georgia, can give them real problems. And you're sitting here saying we're hammer drunk thinking that they're 7-point favorites over Alabama in a college football playoff. Yeah, that does sound crazy. I think it's crazy that they're not favored by more. I think Indiana should be favored by almost double digits here. I have them as about 9.5-point favorites. So I have gone and bet Indiana -7. The only reason that the line isn't higher, I think, is because of that logo on that side of the helmet, because of what you're saying here, because we think it's crazy that they are favored by this much against Alabama. But hey, you show me the product on the field, and they should be favored by more. This is the best team in the country. They've beaten Ohio State. They've beaten Oregon already this year. They have the best wins, and they have the Heisman Trophy winner. They have elite weapons. They have a defense that's fifth in the nation in success rate. They do everything. This is a team that we should be talked even more about right now. The only reason they're not, and they're the second favorites to win the national championship right now, still behind Ohio State, Indiana +310, Ohio State about +200. But that's only the case right now because they're called Indiana and nothing more. And so I think there's some value in Indiana, betting Indiana, laying the 7 points in the Rose Bowl.
Curious about this, and I know you're no weatherman nor a forecaster, but the forecast is for wet weather, maybe up until the start of game time coming up on New Year's Day, 4 o'clock here in the East out in Pasadena. Does that change your mind on anything? Does that adjust some odds with you if the weather is wet during a lot of that game?
I would maybe even favor Indiana more in that case. Like Alabama, like I said, rely heavily on the pass. They don't, and the rain typically hinders that a little bit more than the rushing game, and they're just getting nothing out of it right now. So I would say that favors Indiana, who I think is the more physical of the two teams right now. Put them in a rain game, and yeah, I like Indiana in that spot.
So Andrew Cayley of Covers.com, one final game I want to jump into before I'll let you go here. The 3-6 Sugar Bowl is coming up on New Year's night at 8 o'clock with Georgia and Ole Miss. Size this one up with the Dogs 6.5-point favorites as of right now.
It's a really interesting matchup. Obviously, it's a rematch from earlier in the season that required Georgia to have a 17-0 fourth quarter to come back and win that game in Oxford 43-35, I believe the final score was. Obviously, no Lane Kiffin this time around, and this will be their first real test, obviously, without him. Like, Tulane wasn't actually a test for them, as we saw in that first round matchup there. But it'll be interesting to see what Georgia we get. It's kind of the same thing. Georgia has struggled this year against strong passing teams. They ranked 55th in the nation in success rate on dropback, but they really clamped down on Alabama in that SEC title game. That game did not look close. Now, where I would say Mississippi has the advantage here is that they have a more balanced offense. Like, Trinidad Chambers has been outstanding ever since he took over the job. They ranked 7th in the nation in success rate in EPA and success rate on dropbacks. But then when you mix in also having Kwan Lacey to complement him, that's what makes the Rebels a much harder matchup than, say, Alabama is in this matchup. I'll be really interested to see how it comes down at the end. I think Georgia pulls it out in the end because of Kirby Smart, because of their big game experience. But I think Mississippi will cover the spread. I think this is going to be one of the closer games on New Year's Day. So I'm thinking Mississippi to cover the 6.5-point spread, but I think Georgia pulls it out in a close one.
Andrew Cayley at Covers_Cayley. You can find him on X and all of his viewpoints as well. Covers.com. Andrew sizing up once again the college football playoff, which is officially underway. We're about that now. Seriously, I'm looking out because we have windows now. I see a tremendous IU football fan arousal happening. The near north side of downtown Indianapolis. I can see it from here to the living room lounge parking lot. From here to the Landmark Center. Look, it used to be 97.1 WENS. And did they not, any radio historians out there, I believe this to be true, didn't ENS used to say in their promos that they were broadcasting live from the Landmark Center, and were they in the Landmark Center? And this goes, I think, all the way back to when Mark Patrick, who I started with in this market as the producer for Mark Patrick on Sports, when Mark Patrick had a shift on WENS. They were either in the Landmark Center or the Landmark building or suggested they broadcasted from it. You know, HHH is also in this building. That's Hot 100.9. They used to say broadcasting high atop the Bank One Tower, I think, is what they used to say in downtown Indianapolis. That was their positioning statement. I think once upon a time, ZPL said that they were from the pyramids. Maybe they were at the pyramids. Good stuff. Our new location, our new studio, and windows, which is nice. Also nice, an early visit this week before the change of the calendar with Mike Chappell of CBS 4 and Fox 59. Normally on a Thursday, 5 o'clock hour with Mike, coming up at the top of this hour on a Tuesday. The stream, the app, HD Radio, the AAA membership lounge via YouTube Live. Stay right there. It's 93.5 at 107.5 The Fan.
Welcome to Wawa. We're open 24/7, so when the sun goes down but everyone's still up, Wawa has your late night fuel. Headed to a hangout? Stop in for snacks and sodas. Binge your favorite shows with burgers and hoagies. Gather around the table with garlic knots and a cheesy Wawa pizza. Or just chill on the couch with fries and whatever milkshake sounds good. Your night just got a whole lot tastier. Freshly made burgers, pizza, and so much more. When you got a late night craving, you got a Wawa. Price and participation may vary by store.
Indiana Tech gave these grads more than just a degree. It gave them a future.
I earned a master's degree in organizational leadership and the opportunity to serve others.
I earned a degree that helped me get promoted at a great company and become the first college graduate in my family.
I earned an engineering degree that taught me to succeed in technical roles and in life.
I got the chance to work for a professional sports team with a winning experience thanks to flexible online classes.
With personalized support to help you succeed, over 100 high-quality career-focused certificates and degrees in in-demand fields like business, healthcare, criminal justice, information technology, cybersecurity, and more. Indiana Tech doesn't just give you a degree, it gives you the opportunity of a lifetime. Learn more about what Indiana Tech can do for your future at online.indianatech.edu.
Registration for the next class session ends January 9th.
Hello, everybody. What a way to start out 2026 with a new set of wheels, a new ride. Let Eric Wilson tell you all about what they have to offer for you in terms of the vehicle of your choice, the service after the sale, and incentives to buy, which, again, essentially that is a coupon for you. That is a savings vehicle, no pun intended, for you to utilize to get you in that vehicle of your choice. It is the best car buying atmosphere that you have ever been a part of. It's at one place, one-stop, hassle-free shopping with my friend Eric Wilson to start your new year off right with a new ride from Andy Moore Buick GMC. Tell him I sent you. 131st and State Road 37 in Fishers.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. I know finding a dream engagement ring can be overwhelming, but don't worry, we got you. As director of diamond sourcing, it's my job to make sure every single diamond at Shane Company is truly the best of the best. Our team travels the world to see diamonds up close, in person. We handpick each one for its unique fire, brilliance, and scintillation. Diamond buying is an art. Of course, we look at cut, color, clarity, and carat, known as the 4 C's, but that's not all. We also look at how each diamond looks on a hand, where it will be worn, how it makes you feel, and if it's worthy of a Shane Company customer. That type of expertise only comes from working for a company that's been a family business since 1929. We also think about your budget. We only pick the best in each grade in all shapes and sizes. Your diamond is guaranteed to be the most beautiful because a friend wants you to pick from only the best. Drop by your store or shaneco.com and see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
JMV here for Premier Weight Loss. There are 2 Central Indiana locations. That's on North Meridian and in Fishers. I don't do math so well, but I know this, that since July, I have gone from 255 pounds to 178 pounds. Me trying to do math is like you using telehealth. It does not work. Go with the best that is out there. Invested in you. That's Premier Weight Loss. The one thing that I have noticed is my overall health. My blood pressure completely out of whack this time last year. Normal now. My body fat percentage from 35% to 11%. It has been incredible, and it's all thanks to Premier Weight Loss. If you're thinking about doing it, don't wait. Contact Premier Weight Loss today or check them out online. That's PWLND.com. That's Premier Weight Loss, PWLND.com. Tell them JMV sent you.
With Wawa's Rewards program, you can rack up points on the items you buy every day, even fuel. Boost your totals with a breakfast sizzly. Score points with your morning coffee. With Wawa Rewards, points put the power in your hands. You can choose to redeem them for what you love most, like an iced latte for an extra pick-me-up or your lunchtime hoagie. Download the Wawa app today. When you gotta get rewarded, you gotta Wawa. Fuel rewards not available in New Jersey or were legally prohibited. See full details at wawarewards.com. Price and participation may vary by store.
The Ohio State Buckeyes take on the Miami Hurricanes in the Cotton Bowl tomorrow night at 7 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Can you fly this plane and land it?
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
I like the emotions. The best of my love that James is rolling on the JMV takeover. This is B105.7, but it's not. Just getting work in right here. Those are practice reps for tomorrow night, the JMV takeover. Right down the hole on B105.7. Hey, shout out to the engineering folks and Phelan in particular. And all I've done is probably been the biggest pain in the ass of all time. So I got to have this, I got to have that, got to have this, I got to have that. Those guys are taking care of me. I appreciate that very much so. Win Schuler's spreadability, your guests will appreciate how heads up you are in the snacking game if you're hosting a New Year's Eve party. Two things here. Don't be BYOB host. I always thought that was lame. BYOB. No, supply it. Make sure everybody stays. Make sure everybody Ubers home if they don't. Make sure everybody has a designated driver. Don't be a jackass. But also know this to be true. If you're high-level snacking and you're hosting a party for New Year's Eve, Win Schuler's spreadability there, everybody. The spreadability of Win Schuler's. Neiman's Harvest Market. Check out their meat selection, too. They have fine quality meats. Gordon's Food Service. Meyer location, state of Indiana as well. Win Schuler's spreadability for your New Year's Eve party. James, what was the best moment in sports in 2025? I'm not going to go all lame and just do that, but immediately jumps off the page. Best moment in local sports for you, 2025.
Halliburton's game winner against Oklahoma City in Game 1.
You know what? I don't know if we often, because we're on the same page with this, if you often think about a non-game winner, but the shot against the Knicks that bounces up and comes down that ultimately tied the game and sent it into overtime.
That might be number 2 for me.
I don't know how many times you ever have one, hey, it's just a tie. My moment is the tie. Man, there are a lot to choose from there. Omar Cooper Jr., catching the end zone against Penn State.
It's been a good year, really.
Yeah. We know what? I had a game winner a couple of weeks ago at Southport High School. I was thinking about that one, too, in the morning.
Is that one right up there with Halliburton's tying shot against the Knicks?
There may have been a couple stuffed right in the grill of morning show co-host James Boyd. Yeah, I'll take me out of the equation, though. I think I'm going to the Halliburton against the Knicks to tie. Get your thoughts on that on the other side. Text line 317-239-1070. Riley Leonard is your star to the regular season finale for the Colts in Houston. Coming up on Sunday, we'll talk about that. And my pick in the AFC of the Houston Texans. Somebody save me, or better yet, somebody save the Texans from me picking them. Mike Chappell on the other side. Don't go anywhere. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
If it's happening with the Indianapolis Colts,
they give it to Taylor.
Then it's happening on the Fan.
Jacksonville has the lead for the first time. The first touchdown of the season for Mo Alley Cox, and he made it with one hand. Colts back on top into the end zone, and it is intercepted by Jacksonville. Antonio Johnson ends the game, and the Colts losing skid now 6 games.
Sports Radio 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The official home of the Indy Sports Fan.
If you or someone you know needs help putting food on the table, that help is closer than you think. The Fan cares. We've partnered with local food banks and organizations to provide resources for those who need them. Just go to 1075thefan.com and look for the banner that says Find Free Food near you. You'll find a link to Community Compass with an up-to-date and interactive map that shows locations, days, and times for you to collect food at no cost, as well as other resources to help you through this challenging time. Find community help now at 1075thefan.com.
Technical update here. Did you put a minus on top of that stop right there? Because I got to learn this right down the hall. I'm going to forget my minuses, and we're going to just blow through commercials with me yakking like I just about did.
I tried to stop it, but I'm not sure what happened there. I may have skipped something.
Hey, a little inside broadcasting stuff right here. We're all learning on the fly. Thank you very much. Hey, here's something you can learn. If you looked in the mirror, fellas, recently, and you go, what in the world happened to my hair? It's vacating the premises. And I'm here to tell you to do something about it. If you want the option of real growing hair, 317-522-2995. Darren Andrews will show you the path of real growing hair again. And again, it's real growing hair. So if you want that option of it, you can get it Ask about it. Do it for a new year of 2026. Get your real hair back. 317-522-2995 or WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
This is Window Nation, your source for affordable replacement windows at the highest quality. Your old windows, they're not keeping in the heat in the winter. They keep letting the heat in during the summer. And they're certainly keeping your energy bill way higher than it needs to be. You need the pros at Window Nation with installation precision and experience that are second to none. They'll also be in and out of your house faster than any other service. Their custom-made windows are guaranteed to be a perfect fit in your home. And they back it up with the best warranty in the industry. It's why they've maintained an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. So stay cozy in winter, chill in the summer, and save money year-round. Get a great deal on replacement windows from Window Nation today. Go to getwindownation.com or call 866-90NATION for your free estimate. And for a limited time, get 50% off all window styles, plus pay no interest for 5 years. Go to getwindownation.com or call 866-90NATION.
Lose weight or stop smoking with hypnosis, guaranteed or your money back. Only $59.99. Destroy unwanted cravings, late night eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Also destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, or weight gain, or your money back. Hypnosis January 29th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss at 5:30 p.m., stop smoking at 8. And January 31st at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss 11 a.m., stop smoking at 2. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
On the golf tee, it's Skechers World Champions Cup. Watch it live December 4th and 5th on ESPN and ESPN Plus, 12 to 4 p.m. It's PGA Champions Tour golfers from all over the world. Team USA versus Team Europe versus Team International. Watch it live December 4th and 5th on ESPN and ESPN Plus, 12 to 4 p.m. The competition will be tense, but feet will be comfy. Tune in to Skechers World Champions Cup. Final round of golf on Sunday, December 7th on ABC, 1 to 5 p.m.
Heat and cool places where ductwork won't fit using Mitsubishi electric ductless mini splits. You can even wrap them to match your decor.
Find out more at AbsoluteComfort.org.
From the DriveHubler.com studios, this is 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
WIBC HD2, HD3, Indianapolis.
The Ride with JMV.
I don't know what the hell's in there. It's weird and pissed off, whatever it is.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
So Eddie Garrison just came in the studio, the producer of Aquarian Company and of Pacer Basketball, and erased the dry erase board. So 7 o'clock inside IU football tonight, Eddie, is that true? 7:05. And then later on tonight, 8 o'clock, Butler basketball on the road with Mark and Nick in Creighton. Greg McDermott's bunch. Oh, Greg Rakestraw said a little bit earlier, he's going to must win that bad boy for the Dogs and Thad Matta on the road tonight of the Big East. Right here on The Fan, you can hear it. Mike and Newpow's going to join us. Mike, sit tight. I'm going to get to you because I know you and Donna are going to be listening coming up tomorrow night as a part of the JMV Takeover. And this reminder, too, I am not on tomorrow. Meantime, you're going to get the morning show, the Fan Morning Show, per usual, from 7 until 10. And then you're going to get Aquarian Company. That's with Jake and Eddie from noon until 2:30. At that time, Pacer pregame with Pat Boylan, 3P tip time. Orlando and the Pacers at Gainbridge Fieldhouse coming up tomorrow afternoon. Meantime, I'll be staked out B105.7, messing up the musical world with new software to learn and season 6 of the JMV Takeover. Tomorrow night we start. All requests JMV Takeover on B105.7. Cannot wait to get your requests in. Beginning tomorrow night for you. I can't believe I've been doing that every Saturday night for 6 years. You guys have kept me out of the bars. Appreciate you. On the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, normally on a Thursday, 5 o'clock hour on a Tuesday right now from CBS 4 and Fox 59. It is Mike Chappell. Hello, Mike. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Mike, I'm fantastic. Anything new in Beech Grove?
No. We have trash pickup tomorrow, which is always good.
Sweet.
Now, I'll tell you, that one that blew through here the other day, it just totally screwed up my front porch, so I got to go out tomorrow and straighten it out. Today's, it's just Beach Grove. We're just living the life.
I've heard that the former Silver Bullet is under new leadership and ownership there in Beach Grove. New place.
You're higher up than I am. I go down there a few times. It's a great downtown. Don't get me wrong, but I don't frequent the bars here. I don't. So you have more knowledge on that than I do.
I'm a bar frequenter. That's why I do the JMV takeover Saturday night. That keeps me out of the bars on Saturday night. That was good.
Chamber of Commerce. It's a great city. Come on, buy property. And again, as I always say, I've got some rental acreage in Beach Grove. You're more than welcome to make an offer on.
Should anybody in particular, and nobody's renting, everybody's buying around here, but decision.
It's for sale. It's for sale. So dial me up.
For sale signs in anybody's yard, you think, coming up on Monday following this regular season finale Sunday in Houston?
Oh boy, yeah, I don't know. At the point that I am in my career, I hope not. I long for uneventful off seasons, and I don't know. I have to think that Carly knows what she's going to do, what she wants to do, which is the same thing. I don't know what would have happened over these last 2 or 3 games that would change her mind. She either likes the people she has in place, and I would include Daniel Jones in that list, or she doesn't. Part of me thinks that her rationale might be, when we were 8-2, we were pretty good. We were pretty good, and we had something, and you bring in the Sauce Gardner thing, and injuries. No, everybody has injuries, but if I put a target on 6 players that I wouldn't want to lose in a season at some point, they've lost every one of them. So injuries, everybody has them. It's where you have them and to what extent you have them. They've lost to some degree. Bernie Ryman at left tackle the last couple of games with an elbow that he, may or may not need surgery out in the off season. And then the quarterbacks, again, one thing that we talked about a little bit, but if Anthony Richardson doesn't fracture that orbital bone, they're probably in the playoffs. Not probably, they're in the playoffs. Because then he steps in when Jones goes down.
So you think he wins games?
Oh, yeah. Oh, a couple, certainly. I think they would have. Would have been enough to get him in, probably. But they wouldn't have gone the Phillip Rivers route. And maybe they take Daniel out a game before, because he played 2 games with a broken leg. We can call it a fracture. It was a broken leg. So maybe they don't have him out there in that situation. But, DeForest Buckner and your 2 corners, Mooney Ward's missed like 10 games with concussions. So it's just been it's where the injuries hit. And I don't want to hear that, boy, if you only had done more at this position to reinforce it. No, when you lose, Kenny Moore misses, 3 or 4 games early in the year. So you just can't anticipate that to that level. So I part of me thinks she believes that when injuries didn't decimate 2 or 3 positions, they were pretty good. Yes, there's flaws. There's always flaws. Or she may say, we can't keep going down this path, which, again, if you bring everybody back, you're going down this path one more year, and I don't know how the fan base would react. Probably not well. But all I know is the other option of looking at people better brace themselves, because a complete reboot is going to result in several years of trying to get back to where you are. This isn't college where you got NIL and you can go out and buy players. That's not what it is. So I understand the argument to do that, because 9 years hasn't gotten you what you want. But until Jones went down, and I'll die on this hill, until Jones went down, they were pretty good. And they could have beaten just about anybody in the league They blew the doors off the Chargers. They should have beaten the Rams. Then I realized they shouldn't have beaten Denver. I understand that. Things even out. So all I'm saying is be careful what you wish for.
Well, and it's funny. You look back at January, and the first time you came on after the season, hey, I'm shaking my fist saying, go ahead and get rid of everybody.
I know.
And then the first 2 months of the season, and you and I talked about this in the press box, yeah, I kind of looked like a horse's ass because they wwere winning. They were 7-1, 8-2. Yeah. But, then they end up having happen to them what normally happens to them, and a nightmarish December leads us to where we are right now. So right. I guess my prevailing thought is this with a question. Is it more about what you saw in 2 months than it is, especially in terms of Chris, 9 years of this or something lesser than? I mean, to me, I don't know how you sell that to anybody.
Well, and that's why Carly's in the big boy seat right now. She's got to make these decisions. Jim did it for all those years, and most of the time did the right thing. Most of the time, sometimes he didn't, and we go through 2022. But I do believe and know that she trusts she trusts Chris Ballard. She does. She trusts Shane Steichen without question. But like you said, it's been 9 years, and at some point, to make a change for change's sake, to me, is never a good thing. But then you can throw all the stuff at me, and I can say, yeah, you're right. I mean, you're right. They've not drafted an edge pass rusher that you think, yeah, this guy's going to be 12, 13 sacks. Maybe Latu will be that next year. He better be. Kwity Paye hasn't been. Kwity Paye's a good player, not what you want from a first rounder. I like what they've done with the offense. This offense is all, if I'm not mistaken, all draft picks except the quarterback. So they've done a good job there. Would you like to have a more explosive number one receiver? Of course, everybody wants that. But I like the offense that has been drafted. The defense needs work. It just needs work. Linebackers, defensive line, and what happens if DeForest Buckner doesn't come back after his next surgery. So they've got work to do on defense. So I don't know. And again, it's when you bring somebody in, if you fire the GM, then you say, okay, here you go. Here's your head coach, and this is probably your quarterback. And oh, by the way, you've got no first round picks for 2 years. So it's not everybody says, well, just fire everybody. Well, okay, that's fine. Then you got to start replacing people. So it's a touchy situation. And I mentioned this somewhere earlier. I hope whatever she does, and I mean this, I hope whatever she does, one way or the other, that Carly comes out and explains her rationale. Either way, I just think the fan base has shown tremendous tolerance and patience, and I just think this will be her biggest move for the passing of Jim. And I think it would be good for her to come out and say, I'm not saying at the owners' meetings when she talks with a handful of writers that make the trip, I'm saying, the week after the season, come out and say, this is what I'm doing. You may not agree with me. This is what I'm doing, and sort of trust me. And that's going to be something of a leap of faith for the fan base. But I hope she does that. I don't know if she will or not. I'm really curious what she does. I think she knows there can't be anything that happens on Sunday that changes her mind. There can't be. Do
you think the mind was made up going back to the NFL trade deadline? And I always I present this. When you parted with those assets and went all in like that, do you think that maybe it was talked about, all right, these are going to be my people for the foreseeable future, come hell or high water, and then obviously high water and hell both came to end the season. So do you just kind of have to soak in that, considering the decision you made back in early November?
I wouldn't disagree at all. Because it came out whether I don't know who reported, Albert Breer or somebody, where how when she talked, or I guess Chris approached her, whatever, however it went, that she said, you want to Band-Aid this or you want long-term solution, and the long-term solution was Sauce Gardner. And I do believe that at that point she said, because again, that wasn't a win this year or else move. You're getting Sauce Gardner for the next 3 or 4 years, 5 years. So it was win now, but win later. And I think there is something to that. Now, of course, Daniel Jones was healthy at the time. But I think there was very much her endorsing what they had. And then from then, injuries just cripple them. And nobody outside Indy cares. They don't. Everybody's got their own problems. But it's a really good point that they said we're like the quarterback, we like the offense. Of course we like the offense, and now we need to get this defense going. That's a really good point. That's why I say I just think that when push comes to shove, it's going to be, man, if we get these guys back healthy and Daniel Jones is back to that, Achilles are tough. Whether he can be back in June or July, I don't know. The Achilles, as difficult as it is, I'd rather it be a quarterback than Ebukam or somebody like that who's coming off, who plays that. Eric Fisher, remember Eric Fisher, the tackle, never really got right initially from that. So if I had to bet your salary, I would say she's going to give it another year with the idea of listen, guys, 2026 is kind of like we're drawing a line in the sand, because that's when, if you look at the structure of the team, in 2026 is when you really have decisions to make. Michael Pittman, Jonathan Taylor, DeForest Buckner, Quentin Nelson. That's when you make decisions on core players. So I hope we have an idea Monday on what they're doing. It does no one any good to hang in the wind, and I don't think Carly's that type of owner. I think she's very bought into the people she has, but I think she's going to be very analytical on how she moves forward. We've talked before. I thought Jim made some decisions based on his heart, and she still might to some degree, but she's going to be more business-like. I don't want to use the word calculated. No, that's what it is. She'll be more objective in how she does things, and I hope she shares with the room Monday or Tuesday what they're doing.
So Mike Chappell of CBS 4 and Fox 59 on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. 2 questions regarding Daniel Jones. To start with, why is the opinion prevailing that he's going to hustle ass back and be good to go and not miss, if any, too much at the start of the season? Because that doesn't make sense to me with that injury. Help me make sense.
Well, that would be, do the math. Is that going to be 7 or 8 months? What will that be? It'll be about 7 months. That's probably an optimistic time frame. If he's back for training camp, would be outstanding. OTAs that's crazy.
Was he like the $6 million man here, or what the hell?
Well, I tell you, you think that, and that's probably again on the short side of rehab. But I was watching the Steelers the other day, and they had a guy that blew out his, I think it was the Steelers, it was the safety, and he blew out his Achilles in May of 25, and he's out there playing. So, I think it's possible. The people I've talked to, they really expect it to be June or July, and then certainly you're going to ease him back in. You're not going to throw him out there right away, but I think there's a chance he's ready for the opener, a chance. So does that mean that you have Leonard be, the fallback? Do you go out and get another veteran guy that can hold the fort for a game or two if you don't think Leonard is going to be capable? I don't think many of us believe Anthony Richardson will be back. I think they'll look to trade him in the offseason. I really do. I just don't. The fit that everybody hoped for just isn't there, and I think it would do both. Primarily,
who would like to see him go more, the organization or Anthony Richardson?
Anthony Richardson, probably. I expect Shane to tell us tomorrow that they're not going to activate Anthony. I just don't get the impression at all that first they think he's ready. I think there's a lot of people out there that don't think that the eye limitations is ready to play, and you're not going to put somebody back out there that doesn't have maybe the peripheral vision against Houston. Are you kidding me? I'd like to see that guy coming from my front side and back side. I'd like to feel it. So I don't think he plays. But no, yes, it's an energetic timeline that it's not definite at all. But I do think they can go forward with the idea that he will be their guy. Now, does he miss a game or two? I don't know. But go ahead.
No, this is almost a three-parter too. Let's just say that they expect and they want Daniel Jones back. So that tells you automatically that Shane Steichen's going to be back, right? Because there's no way he's going any place if Daniel Jones is coming back.
I would think so. Not, that's the hard part. If you fire the GM and you bring in a new GM and you give him a head coach, well, that doesn't normally work. But again, I think Shane, for the most part, has done a darn good job with the quarterback situation. And again, all I have to point to, and I wear this out, all I have to point to is they came within a couple of passes, 4th and 1 and something else, of winning the AFC South with Gardner Minshew. They got Gardner Minshew a $15 million guarantee from the Raiders. So if he can do that with Minshew, we saw what he was doing with Jones. I mean, yes, the first half of the season was against a lighter schedule. I granted that. But they were averaging 33 points a game and 400 yards and 6.5 yards a play. They were on a historic pace with Daniel Jones. So like I say, I think he's done a good job. It would be awkward to bring in a GM and say, "Here's your guy," and then maybe it doesn't work, and then you're starting with a new coach. It'd be like Chris Ballard and Chuck Pagano, which was awkward at the time. So yeah, I think Shane in the right situation, which this was for a while, is a pretty good coach.
It'd be like Chris Ballard and Jeff Saturday.
I still say to this day, I would have paid a week of my salary to sit in the interview room when Chris did a formal interview for the head coaching job with Jeff Saturday. I would have paid for it. I wouldn't have said anything. I would have sat and listened. Yeah, that was that year that was. And so hopefully we don't go through too any more of those. We don't need those. The organization doesn't need those.
They hold up a 30-point halftime advantage in Minnesota, or McLaurin doesn't get loose on Stephon Gilmore for a touchdown. They're one win away, because if Jeff Saturday's brought back, which he is, then Chris Ballard is absolutely gone. So Colts fans would have got rid of Chris Ballard had Jeff Saturday won one game. One more game in this case.
People outside don't believe that. I believe that.
Me too.
I believe if they had found a way to win another game. I think Jimmy just wanted a reason. He give me a reason. And then, of course, they give up like 30 points in the fourth quarter at Dallas. So, yeah, it was not a good set. And the biggest indictment of 2022 is when Nick Foles got blown up by, what was his name, Thibodeau with the Giants. And he's doing snow angels, and nobody came and helped Nick Foles up or beat the hell out of the guy.
Waited for the ambulance to come out onto the field for him,
I thought that told you all you need to know about how that team had checked out or whatever. So we don't need – I've been here a long time. I've seen a lot of things. We don't need to see that ever again.
I did want to follow up one more quick thing with Mike Chappell of CBS 4 and Fox 59. I think it's essential to make sure Alec Pierce is back, and especially if Daniel Jones is going to be your target at quarterback, you have to have Alec Pierce. You look at the assets, they don't have a lot of it, not a lot of cash. I mean, you got to find ways and means to make sure he is back. And, if you do give him a deal and he does want to return, is that going to cost the positions from some notable veterans on this roster at some point?
Well, yeah, you got to keep your good players, and when you draft well, there comes time you have to pay your guys. I'm looking at their free agents right now, pending free agents. Daniel Jones, but Braden Smith, Nick Cross, Alec Pierce, Kwity Paye, Tyquan Lewis, Ebukam, Mo Ali Cox, Ogletree. So I really think you put Alec Pierce number one on the list. Jones, however you want to do it, Jones and then Alec Pierce. You got to have Jones back. But Alec Pierce, the question is going to be price. He's done nothing but increase his value. And it's got to be done before free agency. If he hits the market, he's gone. Somebody, Buffalo, Kansas City, will pay him so much more than what the Colts would pay him because they'll overpay, which is great for the player. And I hope Alex gets whatever he can get. Great kid, has adjusted to these quarterback changes. He'll be the first player in, I've got the numbers, they're not right in front of me. It's been a long time since somebody's led the league in yards per catch in consecutive years. I think it's Flipper Anderson was a guy back in like 1990, a former Colt for a note. But yeah, what it's going to cost, I don't know. But I do think that he's priority number two because you've got to get Jones. And the Jones contract is going to be a little more complicated now with he's coming back from an Achilles. So they've got work to do. But yeah, I think Alec Pierce is a guy that you've just got. I think he wants to be here. And if Jones is back, I think he wants to be here for that. Now, if they would blow it up and they say, by the way, Alec, we want you to be one of our pieces going forward, I'd have doubts about that if I'm Alec Pierce. To have a reboot when you don't even know who your quarterback's going to be, that would be not beneficial to his career. But he needs to be part of this team because he's everything you want. He does it the right way. He's the kind of guy you build around. Is he a receiver number one? No. But boy, he's a piece that you've got to have, and they value him. They do. So everything that we've talked about goes into. And by the way, how do we address guys that are going to be free agents? And that's all part of. And again, Carly's a smart lady. She's like her dad. She's got her pulse on this team. She knows all this stuff, and she knows how one domino in one direction changes things, and one domino in the other direction changes a lot of things. So that's what the great owners do. And I'm not saying she's great because she's not been on the job that long. But as I sit here, I trust what she will do. I may not agree with it, but you have to trust what she's doing because she's had her pulse on this team for, 12, 15 years. And I mean really on it for the last 3 or 4 or 5 years. So if anyone can get this franchise back in the right direction, I believe it's her.
And if they would have listened to me last January, then none of this would have happened. Then we'd already be on a new path right now. Alas.
I wonder what kind of season they would have had. I wonder what the kind of season they would have had.
It wouldn't have been a big tease like this one was. So you wouldn't be dealing with this. I mean, it may have been disappointing.
Is that better or worse? Is it better to be teased?
No, I think this makes it worse. This season has been a massive tease. Yeah. So, yeah, this hasn't been good at all, no matter the circumstances.
4 and 12s are better. I
think you still have 2 first-rounders, and I'm assuming you know where your course is going to be now instead of looking depantsed as an organization. So, yeah. But don't listen to me. Yeah.
What would you talk about then? I mean, you got to have something to yap about.
Well, we were talking about the direction they're in is much better than the direction they could have been in.
Well,
given the circumstances.
I hear you. I hear you.
Hey, have a great New Year over in Beech Grove. All right.
I will. And you guys be well and stay safe. There's a bunch of idiots on the road on New Year's Eve. So don't be one of them. Okay.
You got that right. All right, Mike. We'll catch you again next week.
See ya.
It's Mike Chappell of CBS 4 and Fox 59. All you got to do is listen to me. You listen to me, and the problems are solved. I've got my finger on the pulse, too. All right, quick break. We'll come back. Final 30. Mike and New Pal's going to lead on the other side. And more of your calls besides Mike, if you want to go that direction. Also, the text line of 317-239-1070. A little getaway week for me until Friday because we're going to celebrate a new year. I'll be on B. I'll tell you all about the schedule coming up tomorrow and get back with you coming up next. Don't go anywhere. It's 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
Welcome to Wawa. We're open 24/7, so when the sun goes down but everyone's still up, Wawa has your late night fuel. Headed to a hangout? Stop in for snacks and sodas. Binge your favorite shows with burgers and hoagies. Gather around the table with garlic knots and a cheesy Wawa pizza. Or just chill on the couch with fries and whatever milkshake sounds good. Your night just got a whole lot tastier. Freshly made burgers, pizza, and so much more. When you got a late night craving, you got a Wawa. Price and participation may vary by store.
Hey, John, for the District Tap, you got two locations. You got Clearwater Crossing, North Side. You got downtown Indianapolis. Hey, great destination for you tomorrow. Pre-game it, post-game it at the District Tap with the damn good food, the happy hour specials just before you head over to the game. You can do that again on Friday when there's more action at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. That's what you're going to get. All the entertainment you're going to find at the District Tap. I'm saying North Side, Clearwater Crossing, and in downtown Indy. Ask about the live music, too, the event space if you're throwing a party, and the overall fun experience you get, and the great happy hour specials as well. The District Tap. To find out more right now, thedistricttap.com.
Hi, I'm John Ray, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. Getting engaged? So friends, listen up. Shane Company engagement rings are protected with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty. We stand behind the same quality we've offered since 1929. Our rings are crafted to last. It's why our warranty is the only one that protects your center stone. We also cover repairs, resizings, cleanings, and so much more. That's money you keep for you and your family. Because a friend always has your back. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
JMV here for Premier Weight Loss. There are two Central Indiana locations. That's on North Meridian and in Fishers. I don't do math so well, but I know this, that since July, I have gone from 255 pounds to 178 pounds. Me trying to do math is like you using telehealth. It does not work. Go with the best that is out there. Invested in you. That's Premier Weight Loss. The one thing that I have noticed is my overall health. My blood pressure completely out of whack this time last year. Normal now. My body fat percentage from 35% to 11%. It has been incredible, and it's all thanks to Premier Weight Loss. If you're thinking about doing it, don't wait. Contact Premier Weight Loss today or check them out online. That's PWLND.com. That's Premier Weight Loss, PWLND.com. Tell them JMV sent you.
When it came to setting them up for a bright future, Indiana Tech did more for these graduates than they ever imagined.
It helped me land my dream job and continue to serve people.
It put me in a position to help others reach their potential.
It gave me the background and the confidence to keep aiming higher.
It gave me a platform to help make a difference for others.
With flexible online classes, personalized support to help you succeed, over 100 high-quality career-focused certificates and degrees in in-demand fields like business, healthcare, engineering, criminal justice, information technology, cybersecurity, and more.
I earned a Master's of Business Administration and Marketing.
I completed my Bachelor's of Business Administration and my MBA, Master's of Business Administration.
I was able to graduate with my Bachelor's of Science and Computer Engineering.
Isn't it time to see what Indiana Tech can do for you?
There's no better time than now.
Learn more at online.indianatech.edu.
Registration for the next class session ends January 9th.
With Wawa's Rewards program, you can rack up points on the items you buy every day, even fuel. Boost your totals with a breakfast sizzly. Score points with your morning coffee. With Wawa Rewards, points put the power in your hands. You can choose to redeem them for what you love most, like an iced latte for an extra pick-me-up or your lunchtime hoagie. Download the Wawa app today. When you gotta get rewarded, you gotta Wawa. Fuel rewards not available in New Jersey or were legally prohibited. See full details at wawarewards.com. Price and participation may vary by store.
107.5 The Fan and Franciscan Health present Good for the Heart Fridays. Listen to Jake Query every Friday to hear a heartwarming story from our local community. Jake knows firsthand the importance of heart health. Jake and The Fan have teamed up with Franciscan Health to make a difference, one beat at a time. Good for the Heart Fridays, brought to you by Franciscan Health Heart Center. Learn proactive measures to keep your heart healthy and schedule your heart scan at franciscanhealth.org/screening bundles.
The Ride with JMV.
And the beat goes on, yeah. And the beat goes on.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Let's do some calls right here. James, as he rolls me back in with this classic from a Saturday Night Fever and the Bee Gees on B105.7. Did some work in, guys. All requests Saturday night. New Year's Eve party tomorrow night. DJ Skids is putting together some incredible stuff. Hey, by the way, shout out to Sean Matthews, who does imaging. And for those of you that don't know what imaging is, it's all the stuff you hear in between that makes your station sound and your show sound great. The station voice. He's done a great job with me over the years of doing that. And he's got even more great imaging sounders, if you will, for me, as we start on B105.7 coming up tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock. 6 until we decide to be done in the new year of 2026. Hey, we've been all over the map today with good reason. Colts recap, looking into the future. Riley Leonard, the starter in Houston for that regular season finale on Sunday. 10 a.m., Colts pregame huddle with me on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. We talked to Chris Hagan of Fox 59, who's out in Southern California. Bama coming up on Thursday at 4 o'clock on New Year's Day for the right to advance to the Peach Bowl in Atlanta to face either Texas Tech or Oregon. Omar Cooper Jr., good to go, working his way back from injury. Chris Hagan's got Omar, friend of the show, on with him a little bit later on this evening. Andrew Cayley, Covers.com, with all the games, including tomorrow night as things get officially underway in the Cotton Bowl with Miami and Ohio State. Andrew Cayley of Covers.com with all the odds, and he really loves the Hoosiers against Bama. Wet or not, because evidently it's raining out there right now. Pacers with a loss last night. Pacers an afternoon affair, 3 o'clock coming up tomorrow. 2:30 coverage begins following Query and Company on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Greg Rakestraw celebrating his 49th birthday today. We talked to Greg about that. What Greg kind of described as a must-win for Butler on the road at Creighton later on tonight. That is Greg McDermott's crew versus the Dogs tonight with Mark and Nick right here on The Fan. And then Mike Chappell of CBS 4 and Fox 59, which has inspired this particular X message. JMV, it sounds like Chapp has bought into the what ifs. They almost, and if not for the injuries, excuses of continuous mediocrity. The Colts front office and head coach have proven they don't have what it takes to field the championship team. It is time to move on. Period. I will say this for what Mike said, and I want to make sure you guys understand the difference between opinion. You knew my opinion last January, and you would be better off right now if there was a charted path had my advice been taken. I understand you got 2 months of fun-loving, freewheeling winning, but you would have been better off right now. But you understand what I feel is necessary in basically what I just read to you. As far as, I think Harkon is the guy that sent that in his thoughts. But what Mike was alluding to was when you green light that deal at the trade deadline, you may have already decided then and there that you're moving forward with this group. Because you are still, with players on the field, substantially soaking in or sleeping in the bed that you made. So that's where their reporting comes in. That wasn't even necessarily an opinion. It was just, and that very well could be the case. I mean, I'm like everybody else, and I have long since been ready to go ahead and move forward down the road. I mean, I can get to Steichen and Jones together again. I'm going to have to see it to believe it, this guy being the $6 million man and coming back when everybody believes he's going to be coming back and ready to go. But you guys know and have known for a while what I think about the situation. But the reported situation could very well be the case. And you might have to deal with this again coming up next year. All right, 239-1070. My man, Mike, is in New Pal. Mike, thank you for the hold, my friend. How are you?
Man, that's a tough act to follow, chap, there. Hey, I hope Laney and Blake and everybody back at the house are doing good. Wishing you a happy New Year.
Brother.
And just want to give you a little bit of inspiration. Nobody's going to know if you mess up tomorrow night. Nobody's going to know. Just do you on New Year's on 105.7.
Well, and I appreciate that very much. They're probably not going to know because I normally mess up anyway. So, I mean, it's just,
all good.
Yeah, it's just going to be like what normally you get. I am I'm a little anxious about the whole operation. Like, give me a great example, Mike. Like with the glass, I'm watching James in there, and James looks like he has more questions most of the time than answers, and that doesn't really give me too much inspiration. So
you got James sitting in the fishbowl then, huh?
I can see James through the window, and sometimes James doesn't look like what he does actually takes place with the system. And that concerns me. It's just, and I'm very, you know me very well. I'm very routine oriented, and this is going to be incredibly outside of my routine. So I just, what I have to do is I got to lay a path down tomorrow night and go from there. Once I get going, it'll be fine. But it's just the anxious nature that I'm going to have of being out of, and that's just my life in general. I'm very routine oriented. So getting out of that routine is going to be really weird beginning at 6 tomorrow night.
You're going to be fine. We'll listen to you. Of course, Donna's a Ohio State grad. Andrew went to Ohio State, got his master's from there. So I'm going to be listening to a lot of you out in the garage with the heat on.
Well done. We'll crank that heat up and crank up the show tomorrow night.
I just want to say thank you for all your honesty and your enlightenment as far as how you present your show and your honesty. You're number one in this market. So just
that's
keep going.
That's very kind of you. I appreciate it.
Hopefully get together. Like I said, I left Arkansas. I'm back in Indy right now. It was 78 degrees when I left there, and you know what we're dealing with here. So
yes,
it's all good. You enjoy your New Year, and we'll be listening to you tomorrow night.
Thank you very much, Mike and New Pal. I appreciate the kind words. I mean, I listen. I just kind of, speaking of soaking it, I kind of soak in the fact that I suck, and that's cool. But I'm just like anybody else out there. So just like no different. That's why, and this is what I've always felt about me. That's why I get along so well with everybody. I mean, you really have to be a huge jackass not to get along with me or have me not like you. But I get along so well with everybody because I'm just like everybody. I mean, I just like to hang, and that's it. Mike, I appreciate that. Big Dave's going to go next. Big Dave, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you, sir. On your show tomorrow, just don't lose it if somebody says the name Meatloaf, and you'll be good. I know you can't stand that, but, you know, if they say Meatloaf, just say sorry.
You want me to play? I'll just play some Meatloaf tomorrow night.
No, you won't. I know you don't like them, and that's okay. I got a question.
Yeah.
I've been kind of mean to Steichen, and I thought, you know, historically, he did good with Herbert. He did good with Jalen Hurts. He was doing good with Jones. The only person he didn't do good with is Richardson. And Richardson's been the black eye for Ballard and for Steichen. That's what's costing them all the pain they're having.
Yeah.
What can they do with AR?
Well, I mean, we just talked to Mike Chappell about that, and this is going to be both sides are going to look for an exit strategy. meaning
That
Mike believes there's a trade on the horizon at some point, and he's played his last down in a Colts uniform, and in the offseason, he's going to get traded because he wants it as much as the Colts organization. And that's what Mike just talked about. Evidently wanted too, Big Dave.
Yeah, he came in at 20. He was a kid. And I mean, pro football is a man's game. It's not a kid's game. He didn't take it seriously off the bat. Maybe he'll grow up a little bit and he'll be a man when he goes to his next team. But right now, I mean, it's just not working.
Yeah, and not working, and no doubt about that. But, yeah, look for an off-season trade. Big Dave, be listening tomorrow night in a meatloaf-free zone, okay?
You,
thank you, pal.
No meatloaf, though, okay?
I would do anything for love, but I will not do that, and that is play Meatloaf coming up tomorrow night on the JMV Takeover. Bill, Matt, Fulton to close. Other side, don't go anywhere. This is 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Nobody wakes up thinking they'll be injured in an accident. When it happens, hire Hensley. Attorneys that fight right here in Indiana. Call Hensley Legal Group at 888-HENSLEY or visit hirehensley.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Food insecurity is an urgent problem, one that impacts real Hoosiers. You can help today. Gleaners needs donations. Your contribution goes further with Gleaners. For every $10 you give, Gleaners leverages their resources to turn your $10 into $90 worth of groceries for families who desperately need help right now. Your gift benefits local community members, and every dollar counts. Gleaners also needs volunteers now to help with warehouse distribution. Go to gleaners.org and donate or get involved today.
Hey, Johnny for Bullseye, eventgroup.com and the Colts VIP Tailgate, the best pregame parties anywhere. In fact, that set a path for the rest of the NFL and their cities, their organizations to take note on how you should do a pregame party because it's essential. It's about the game day experience, and it may not go the way you want it like it did this past Sunday at Lucas Oil Stadium, but you know you have this in your back pocket before you step foot into the stadium. You have been a part of the best party around with Bullseye, eventgroup.com and the Colts VIP Tailgate. A tip of the cap to Kyle Kinnett and everybody at Bullseye for yet another season and a job well done. And I should remind you of this. Let's say all of a sudden, how should I put this? Let's say you get a wild hair. And then all of a sudden, you want to go see IU. Check out bullseyeeventgroup.com with Rose Bowl tickets, just in case. I'll tell you that out front. And then especially if IU advances, or to that effect, anything that you may struggle in finding tickets for or think that there is no way to find them, my friends at Bullseye have your back. That's bullseyeeventgroup.com, and essentially the absolute best pregame party around. Also, keep in mind the Super Bowl Santa Clara, the best Super Bowl pregame party with bullseyeeventgroup.com.
At Advent, nasal congestion and sinus infections can be solved with an in-office 20-minute procedure. Elsewhere, expect surgery.
Hey, JMV, thinning hair this year. Grow your hair back like I did. Call 317-522-2995 or visit WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
Lose weight or stop smoking with hypnosis, guaranteed or your money back. Only $59.99. Destroy unwanted cravings, late night eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Also destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, or weight gain, or your money back. Hypnosis January 29th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss of 5:30 p.m., stop smoking at 8. And January 31st at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss 11 a.m., stop smoking at 2. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on. Like a close friend who will give it to you straight. The friend who will tell you that new haircut, it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. This holiday season through January 4th, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
The Butler Bulldogs head to Omaha to face the Creighton Blue Jays tonight at 8:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Look up idiot in the dictionary. You know what you'll find? Picture me? No. The definition of the word idiot, which you are.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Spreadability for you. Coming up tomorrow night, you're hosting a party, New Year's Eve style. You got crackers, you've got chips, you've got vegetables. Hey, don't jack around and not have Win Schuler's on that table, all right? Do it the right way. Win Schuler Spreadability, you can find it. Meijer locations throughout the state of Indiana. Snack at an elite level on New Year's Eve with Win Schuler's. Again, 7:05 inside Indiana football coming up later on tonight, and Butler Creighton follows that tonight here on The Fan. Tomorrow, Miami, Ohio State gets the college football bowl campaign officially underway. By the way, Fan Morning Show tomorrow morning, 7 until 10 a.m., and then Query and Company from noon until 2:30. Pacer pregame after that. 3 o'clock the tip time. Cambridge Fieldhouse with the Magic and the Pacers coming up tomorrow afternoon. Meantime, 239-1070. This show is going to be live. Bud Light Blue Friday. Ralston's Draft House. Mass Ave coming up on Friday. And Bill's up next. Hello, Bill.
Hey, JMV, how you doing? And this Friday down at Ralston's, man, we need to kick the year off big time.
Let's do this two together really quick. Let's do, because we're also saying goodbye to Manley's Irish Mutt at 10th and Shadeland. Let's salute Mike Manley and the great folks over there for what was an incredible, great place and a great run.
Well, he certainly appreciate that, and just like MacArthur, they will come back. They will return, just like MacArthur in the Philippines.
I hope so too, because I love that place. And I love Mike Manley's just one of the best dudes of all time.
Yeah, that's where we're going right after tomorrow.
Yep.
So.
Bill, hey, I tell you what, Bill, you just disappeared. Have a great New Year. Was that us or Bill?
That sounded like he may have been having connection
Bill,
issues.
you may have had. If you could get back in here before we bail, then please do, buddy. Sorry about that. Matt's up next. Hello, Matt. How are you?
Hey, JMV. How's it going?
Matt, how are you? Go ahead, buddy.
Not too bad. Hey, real quick, just following up Chap. Look, I respect Chap so much. I mean, he's a legend in the indie market. You know that, but. You know, he said something there about being prepared for if we cut Ballard for what might come. And you know, to that I would say prepared for what, right? Missing the playoffs,
right?
Getting a middle first-round pick that isn't good enough because, you know, that's what we've been dealing with for the last 10 years, right? Yeah. And the excuse that injuries happen to derail a season, that's true. But what I'll say is that if that's going to be the litmus test for keeping a GM, then we could use that excuse in perpetuity, because what happens next season when 3 of our players go down? Do we just say, hey, let's give Ballard another shot? And I'll leave you with this, and I know you're running up against time. Chris Ballard is 70, 77, and 1 in his tenure of GM.
Yeah.
As GM of the Colts. He is the 4th longest tenured GM in the National Football League, excluding those like in Dallas where Jerry Jones is GM too. And so the question I'll leave you with, and all Colts fans, is simple, which is, what has he done to earn that long leash that the Irsay's have given him? Because I can't think of anything. If results are what matter in this league, I'm struggling to figure out anything.
And results are the ultimate. Yes. And
exactly.
Results are the ultimate.
Never a good time to rip off the Band-Aid, but why not now?
Yeah,
right?
I completely agree with you on that. Matt, I could not have said that better myself. And in fact, I said it this time last year and before that, but certainly this time last year. Couldn't have said it better myself. Fulton is next. Hey, Fulton, are you going to be in your suit and tie ready to go tomorrow night?
I sure am, John.
Good, buddy. I can't wait to have you back.
Yeah, I'm excited. And I was talking to Nick earlier today.
I heard you called Nick Jordan, the afternoon host on B105.7.
Yep, I told him he's been having trouble playing some songs lately, so.
Oh, don't tell me that, Fulton. Fulton, you may have to keep your calls down to like 3.5 minutes tomorrow, okay, buddy?
Yeah. I might come to see it on Friday, John.
Okay.
Hopefully I can come.
Well, hopefully you can too.
If I'm not too busy or anything, and it's just the holiday season.
You better be rocking that disco suit. By the way, Gina Glaros and Lindsay Monroe loved the disco outfit. That was well done, too.
Oh, great. I've got a new one that's coming. It's a medium size, so I got to get ready for that one.
All right, pal.
James, you're going to be surprised by tomorrow.
All right, Fulton, we'll talk to you tomorrow night, too, buddy, on the JMV Takeover. James, Gina and Lindsay reached out to me this morning and said, hey, Fulton showed us the picture of his new suit.
I finally got online and saw it myself.
Pretty classic. All right. Fan Morning Show tomorrow morning. Query and Company until 2:30. Pacer Hoops after that. JMV Takeover with new software. We'll see how that goes. Season 6 debut tomorrow night, 6 until after midnight. Ringing in a new year. Otherwise, Ralston's Draft House on Friday. Bud Light Blue Friday with me next time right here on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Welcome to Wawa. We're open 24/7, so when the sun goes down but everyone's still up, Wawa has your late night fuel. Headed to a hangout? Stop in for snacks and sodas. Binge your favorite shows with burgers and hoagies. Gather around the table with garlic knots and a cheesy Wawa pizza. Or just chill on the couch with fries and whatever milkshake sounds good. Your night just got a whole lot tastier. Freshly made burgers, pizza, and so much more. When you got a late night craving, you got a Wawa. Price and participation may vary by store.
The following is a district-wide service announcement from the District Tap. The District Tap.